Hello, my name is Joe Trier and welcome back to the Frozen North. We started our tale a few weeks ago with a man who fell from a star and a monster who fell with him. But where did he come from and why did he fall? To answer those questions, we need to travel back in time and journey south over the frozen and currently unpassable mountains of the spine of the world to the city of Mirabar. Our camera zooms in into this lofty city, perched precariously on the edge of a mountain, far above the raging, icy waters of the River Mirror. We pass by the hustle and bustle of the houses and buildings of the humans on the city above, and focus on the enormous circular chasm in the city's centre, dropping down thousands of feet into the busy mines of the dwarves below. As we descend past a web of pulleys and lifts into the darkness, lit by the burning red glow of 1,000 smithy fires, we pan over minecarts flying by, waterways zigzagging this way and that, carrying ore to the surface and down to hidden underground rivers. We also see countless low, squat buildings where the dwarves live and work. Our camera pans across this enormous underground city and focuses in on a huge dwarven temple built into the very living rock itself and highlighted by huge braziers of burning fire and decorated in gold and silver. From within, we hear an explosion, the magical trill of an alarm. Guards outside start towards the huge doors, drawing their blades. Guards from all over the city, alerted by this magical alarm, burst from the darkness and charge into the temple. But our camera pans around the side, up to a window of stained glass, which bursts open as two figures jump out, leaping into the darkness. One holding a heavy bag. Celeste, Kuran, welcome to the show. It is you who have burst from this temple after committing a great or terrible heist, depending on depending on your point of view, I guess. Let's start with you, Kuran. Kuran, welcome to the show. Tell us a bit about your character.
Thank you, Joe. I'm going to be playing Graham Voss. He's been here for the last couple of episodes. He is a sort of stocky character. He likes to wear big coats so he can hide things that he's stealing. And he's actually a home resident of Mirabar. They say you shouldn't steal where you live, but sometimes things are easy. So
well, whatever is in this bag was obviously too much of a temptation, and you've made it, you've got it. But let's see if you can get away. But before we find that out, Celeste, it is such an honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. Hey, everybody. My name is Celeste Conowich. I'm super duper excited to be here. I'm a freelance designer, and in fact, I helped write Rime of the Frost Maiden. So this is super fun for me getting to play in the world that I helped create. And my character today, so you see, rocketing down the side of this building, is a halfling man who has this bright kind of pink strawberry-esque hair, one might say. Strawberry Fields is their name, and that is also backed up by the fact that they have lots of leathers on them that have also been dyed in these different kind of shades of crimson. So they dressed to the nines. Here they were just looking for a good time. They are a cleric of trickery. So Timora had a little feud with this dwarven temple here, and look where we are. You're probably wondering how I got here. So that's me.
So we're going to do this as an old-fashioned skill challenge. We did one last week with minecarts through a goblin tunnel, and it was so popular we've had tons of requests for more, so we thought we're going to open the story with this. The way it works is you have to get 3 passes over 3 failures. You can use any skill you want, including powers, although if you use a power, would rather use so if it's a magic spell, you'd use an arcana roll. For a cleric spell, you use a religion roll. And it's a real narrative way of describing this. You need to get to the far side of the city where there is a secret lift. It's a bit hidden away from the others, and it should be safe. So if you can get there, Fantastic, you've made it out. Which of you has the highest dexterity as you leap out of this high window? Kuran, what's yours?
Oh, my dexterity is 16.
Ooh, mine is 17.
Ooh.
Then you take the lead, Strawberry.
Okay. So I imagine at this point, so we've burst out of this window. I think maybe before this or as we're doing it, I hope that Strawberry is like getting some ropes and like harnesses together to like, tie that zip line on so they can rappel down the side of this building. So if I could, maybe a sleight of hand to like just make sure all the knots and everything are ready to go really quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. Give me that roll.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so D20 rolling. Ooh, well, that's not a great way to start things off. So with my sleight of hand, that is going to be a solid 8.
Oh, gosh, okay, so you in such a rush, although you don't fall, you've managed to jam the carabiner, so as you're kind of flying down, you end up stopping, and Kuran, your character Graham, zooms down after, and you just realize in time you're going to crash into each other. You're still like 50 feet above the ground. How do you want to get out of this situation?
I'm gonna. So we're in between two buildings, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So as I'm hitting that momentum, is it possible for me to like reach back towards the building? Or if I'm sliding down, I guess not.
Yeah. No, you absolutely can.
So I'll reach back towards the building and try to pull the rope inward so that we can stop for a moment and try and.
Okay. So I mean, I think you could probably do that anyway. But nearby, you've got this. Below you can see the guards beginning to kind of gather around looking for the suspects. You've got another building nearby. You've also got these kind of like mine carts whipping around. In the distance, you could probably see one of these like sort of boats that are transporting ore around at vast speed. I don't know if you've ever seen Avatar, The Last Airbender, where you've got that Earth City. Yeah, exactly. Ba Sing Se. You've got all those kind of like zipping around. So loads of things for you to kind of play around with.
All right. So firstly, I'm going to try to jump to the ground, I guess.
Okay,
to the next to the building over, and I'll try and scout out and look for one of these carts that's on the way.
Okay, so what skill would you like to use?
Acrobatics, because I'm going to try to dive into some pile of coal or something.
Perfect, let's do it.
Ooh, so 11.
11. So 11 is another failure. Yeah. So basically, plus 5, 16.
Yeah. Sorry.
16 is an absolute failure.
Gann chestnut.
This skill challenge was made to kill you.
Welcome to the show. Oh no.
So that is such a success. I think you could maybe get Celeste, get Strawberry across there as well. So there's enough momentum from your rope that you can basically maybe run up one side, run the other side, like a pendulum swinging back and forth, and then use that, maybe even cutting the rope at the last minute, so you both fly over this 15-foot gap and land spinning on the other side, both on your feet and ready to move on to the next place. Strawberry, where'd you go? You can hear from below the shouts of alarm.
Okay, so you said there are kind of mine carts all around this area moving about the cavern?
Sure.
Okay, so I think, Strawberry is going to turn to Graham and be like, I've got an idea. We're just going to go in and we're going to dive in. It's going to be sort of a whack-a-mole thing. So what I would like to do is propose that we get into a mine cart, but I want to release a bunch of other mine carts at the same time and kind of switch things around. So there's just a bunch of chaotic mine carts that we're going to hide in. So I would like to enact this plan maybe with stealth, like as this kind of bob and weave deception maneuver to put this together.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my cat is trying to knock over one of my lights.
How rude! All right.
So, yeah, please do give me a stealth.
Okay, let me redeem myself, maybe. There we go. Okay, so 17 on the die. Yes, plus my 5 stealth. So we're looking at a 22 for this maneuver.
Wow. So, I mean, if you want, you could have an extra thing happen. So you've leapt into the minecarts, or minecarts if you want to go separate ones. You've managed to launch off a load of other minecarts in different directions. What other bonus would you like to happen from that supreme success?
So maybe with that, I want to get us on a track, maybe that dips southward, so we can get a lot of extra momentum to travel us very quickly towards the edge of the cavern we're heading to.
Amazing. Okay, so you're flying down at kind of breakneck speeds. Are you in the same minecart?
I think probably that would be ideal. So Strawberry is like, you know, just poking their little fingies up over the top and is going, whee!
So this minecart is perfect. You're flying down at breakneck speed, zigzagging this way and that, and but unfortunately, it's actually going down to the street level. So although you're going fast and you've managed to disguise you from the people behind, there's all sorts of guards like looking around. They're beginning to notice that this minecart should not be on this track. And are there people inside it? They're beginning to spot you as well. You're going very, very fast. Graham, how are you going to handle this situation?
Okay, I'm going to grab my cloak and I'm going to chuck it onto another minecart, because there's lots of them going at the moment, because we've just created a bunch of chaos to try and deceive everyone to think that we're actually in a different one, but it's just coal in the shape of us. This is
Yes.
Okay, so a deception roll. Let's give it a go. That's a 9 plus. Where is my deception? Plus 6. So that is 15.
15. God, I should have made this harder, because that's 3 successes. You easily distract the guards, and they literally start chasing after this other minecart, and you very easily stroll across the city. I guess it wouldn't be so. Zoom across the city. Eventually, you do have to leap off it, but at this moment, you've left all the guards behind, and you do approach this lift. Now, it's off to one darkened side of the cavern, and you know it's very, very rarely used. In fact, this is one of the much older lifts that isn't maybe the safest, but it's also probably the most secret. And you approach. There doesn't seem to be any sign of pursuit. There doesn't seem to be anyone waiting for you. There also doesn't seem to be any sign of the lift. We are out of the skill challenge now.
What happened to the lift?
Well, it was sort of a safety hazard, so maybe somebody actually finally removed it, which would be good for the city, but terrible for us.
Nothing ever gets done around Mirabah. This is ridiculous.
Maybe, is there some sort of button? I would like to look for a call button to get this elevator to...
So this is such an old lift. Like, there is kind of like a wooden structure, almost like that sort of goes up and up and up and up into the distance, into the darkness. And there is one of those like metal clanging doors, like the old 1920s lifts had, which are both closed. But there isn't a button as such. But there is a whole load of kind of mechanisms and gears and cogs and things. What I would like from both of you is a perception roll.
Okay.
Strawberry Fields roll first.
Okay. All right. 14 plus 2, so 16.
And I got a 7 plus 4. Oh.
So you're kind of like looking all over this machine, and you think maybe, Graham, you found something, and then you realize that's just a gear and it's nothing at all. It's not even going to help you. But Strawberry, you can hear from behind you the sound of very heavy boots trying to move stealthily through the houses behind you.
Hey, I think somebody's coming after us. So, you know what? Here, blessings of Dimora be upon you. And I'm going to use my domain of trickery ability called Blessing of the Trickster, where I touch a willing creature, and then you get advantage on dexterity stealth checks for 1 hour, or until I use the feature again.
That's awesome.
So it's incredibly useful. I knew I was friends with you for a reason.
Yeah, so I tap you, and I think as I do, I twirl my coin of Chimera across my knuckles to sort of summon this blessing, and then I say, hide!
So I guess I'll stealth.
I would also like to stealth and try to just hide.
Okay, nice. If you'd like, so do you want to give me that roll?
Yes. Oh no. You have advantage.
Is gonna come
you have advantage.
Yeah, let's... Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. Plus 5 on that, so that's 14.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Woo! And then I got a natural 20. So with my stealth, that's going to be a 25.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. So you easily find, and there's numerous places to hide. You can hide near where the lift should be, the lift box or mechanism. You can hide near the houses, and then there's various sort of detritus in the big opening between the houses and the lift.
Perhaps if they're coming to investigate the elevator, we should hide on either side, and then, when they come up, we just
absolutely,
throw my hands
so
down.
I'm gonna go up on the other.
Stabbing motions. Yes. Good. Okay.
We're ready. Right.
We're so ready.
So it takes a few moments, and then you can hear the sound of these footsteps, even you, Graham, with your failed roll, getting closer and closer. And then this long shadow kind of fills the areas, because there's obviously light behind them. And then this very, very large dwarven guard, huge red beard plaited with sort of golden rings inside it, holding this enormous halberd, walks into the opening area and starts moving towards the lift. Let's just give him a roll, an opportunity to spot you both, although it is very difficult. Wow. Okay. He stares right at you, Graham. Doesn't do anything. In fact, he reaches into his pouch and pulls out what looks like a large, like a key, but a huge key with a hexagonal bit at the end, which he pushes into the lift. Again, he hasn't actually acted for you, and he turns it, and with a grating of gears, you hear the lift or the elevator descending down towards you both.
Because we're too far apart to talk, so I'm like, look right at me.
Yeah, I guess maybe we're on the other side of the elevator through the cage, like. Holding up my hands. What's going on? Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting. I want to see what this guy does next.
Assuming he's gonna go into the elevator.
Yeah, so the elevator descends down, the doors, well, he actually had to pull apart the doors with this rusty clang, and despite his bulk, he actually really seems to struggle at first. And then, it's a bit strange actually, at first he seems to struggle, and then suddenly it's like he's just gained this enormous amount of strength. He just pulls it apart as if it's just nothing. He steps into the lift, and then he just waits.
Should we get him before he goes up?
Yes.
He goes. And we stab.
Okay, good. Yes, I would like to pop around the corner and I guess say, "Hands up, punk! Give us that key!" As I have my hand crossbow pointed right at his chest.
So he sort of looks at you both and smiles, and he's got a very, very strong accent, although it doesn't really seem to be the right accent for the area. And he just stops speaking, and then he reaches up and takes off something from his head. And there's nothing actually there, but then he takes it off. It's this enormous wizard hat, and his whole features begin to melt and change. And it's your partner. It's Lee.
Oh my God, I almost shot you right in the face. How many times have I told you not to do that?
I really need to stop that, Lee.
Yeah.
My God.
So you managed to get it in. And he points the bag on your shoulder, Graham.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hand it over. Let me see.
Here we go, show you. And I open the bag. Show him. I've got a firm grip on the bag, though. I'm just showing him.
And he goes, and he reaches inside, and he pulls out this golden chest, but it's almost, the chest is in the shape of an orb, and it's got this golden filigree around this like shining blue glowing, I guess it would be like sapphire overlay or underlay. And he goes, right, God, what's that? And he points behind you both.
Wait, I want to insight. Yeah, I want to insight.
There's no way this works.
This nonsense. Okay, so I'm gonna do an insight check because.
Well, before you do, I think we're gonna move the camera 20 days into the future. In fact, it'll be 30 days into the future, into the future of Icewind Dale. We're gonna fly over the spine of the world, through the storms generated by the Frost Maiden, and down into the city of Bryn Shander, where, in the Golden House of Lathlander, in a rickety old attic, sits Xalfiz, the gnome artificer. Owen, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing fine, actually. It's been a difficult weekend. But
no one asked you how you're doing, Joyce. It felt like you didn't.
Never happened, no.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm playing Xalfiz, the artificer gnome. I am going to be I can never say this properly, artillerist, I think is my subclass. So basically a bit of that in a small bit.
Nice.
So Xalfiz is currently working away in his little workshop in town.
Now, we have talked a bit about using the Xanthus Guide to Everything, the downtime rules. Is there anything that you've managed to do? I know you've got quite limited funds at the moment. Your adventuring hasn't paid you too well recently.
So there was the bit of goo from episode 1 from the crash site. I was going to analyze that in my downtime and also use some of my Artificer infusions. So, like we did last episode, take an arrow and make it a collapsible pole. I've also got my bag of holding.
Nice.
I think that was it.
Okay, well, let's do a roll for the goo. So right in our first episode, there was this strange goo that landed inside this egg, this kind of capsule that seemed to be made of bone or sinew, and you managed to get a sample of it. When it touched a person, it basically took them over and turned them into a kind of like alien zombie creature. So yeah, do you want to give me that intelligence roll, or if you have a skill that you'd like to use, that would work well. Arcana would be a good one.
There isn't intelligence in this, is there?
It is. It's just a base stat.
You can just use straight intelligence, but if you have Arcana or something like that,
yeah, I'll go with intelligence. Works for me. Boom. So with a +3, I rolled a 12 total.
12. Okay, so you can't gain much out of this other than the fact that this seems to be a relic or a creature or part of a creature from the plane of limbo. This is a liquid of pure chaos, but you haven't been able to define its use or how you could use it, put it to your use. Let's move.
Pure chaos, though. That's markets itself. I don't know what it does yet, but it markets itself.
Niall, welcome back to the show. How are you doing? And tell us a bit about your character and where might they be?
I am doing good. I am playing Gann. He is actually outside of the town near the forest, trying to get back to his roots because he's just trying to like interact with animals because he's been doing a bad job of that lately, considering every dog he's met wants to kill him. So he's been doing that, and just kind of, he doesn't like being in the city. He doesn't like being around that much built-up civilization. He's more person of the land, so he's been outside the city, just taking it easy.
So just chilling. Is there anything you'd like to have done in your downtime?
So one thing he did want to do was, upon leaving Telmarine, or I think that was the town.
Tourmaline.
Tourmaline. He wanted to go back to the church to investigate the other smell that he caught in the last episode.
I think we can maybe talk about that when it comes up in the story, but I'll definitely note down that you've investigated that.
Okay.
And I think this scene is going to start as a young gnome boy comes running through the woods, and he goes, Mr. Gann, Mr. Gann, I've been sent here with a message for you.
Yes, what is it?
Gosh, you're big. No, sorry, that's not the message. He said that you would pay me.
I take out. So for Gann, the concept of money isn't really a thing. He's never. Well, no, he's never lived in like a civil area, like a civilization kind of area. So he takes out like 2 or 3 gold pieces and gives it to the child, and doesn't realize that that's probably a massive sum for what this kid's doing. He probably expected a bit of copper.
Yeah, the boy's like, I can't believe that worked. What the hell? So your friend, Graham, boss, he's dead, or something. He's in the temple thing.
Gann doesn't even react to the kid. He stands up and he just runs towards the town. Okay. Abandoning this kid in the forest.
F's in chat, people. F's in chat.
So, I mean, the kid's fine. He's like looking at these 3 gold pieces. I mean, this is, 3 nights in an inn. This is great. I mean, he can live well for 3 days as a commoner on this. Or, I mean, it's a lot of money anyway. So he's an
8-year-old.
No, he's a gnome. He's probably like 25.
I have never met a 25-year-old that sounds like that.
He's a gnome.
Okay.
Anyway, you zoom through the town. I guess you're enormous. Are you like 8 foot tall, 9 foot tall? You're huge, like loping strides, carrying you through the town at immense speed, and you arrive outside the golden gate to this temple. You're met at the door by Mishan, the temple there. He's an ex-adventurer. He's a bit of he's very bookish for an adventurer, and he sort of goes, "Oh gosh, thank you so much, Gann, for coming. It's been a terrible tragedy. Come in. And he leads you into one of the back rooms where you see Graham laid out upon a slab, and there's like a halo of golden light surrounding him, and Xalfiz is standing there. He was brought here by 2 of his friends from the inn. He apparently collapsed, and his vitals are
They're barely there at all.
He's not dead though, no.
No, why would you say such a thing?
The kid you sent said he was dead.
God, he didn't ask you for money, did you? Did he?
Was I not supposed to pay him?
He'd already been paid. He's apprentice here. He's part of his duties. He gives us messages. He does. Never mind. Anyway, your friend is on death's door.
Xalfiz, do you have any idea what might be happening?
I'm not aware of what he is suffering with. I mean, he's a reckless fellow. He could have taken anything.
Can I do a medicine check on him?
You absolutely can. Yeah, please do.
What do I got? +5. Hell yeah. There we go.
Ooh.
Oh my god! My god!
Oh.
It just rolled over to the 20. Thank you.
That's
Oh my
amazing.
god.
Crit Gann continues. Crit fail or crit success.
I get an
no
at
middle ground.
20.
So what do you do with your medicine? Are you using magic, or are you using kind of like some sort of something unearthly, or so are you literally just checking his pulse? What
I would
kind
like
of
to
damage?
just,
Hammer
like,
just his chest.
check his pulse, like kind of open
Clear.
his eyelids. See, yeah, you just flatten him. I'd like to check his heartbeat, his pulse, like open his eyes and like see if there's any reaction in his irises and like even maybe his gums and stuff. I see anything if I can spot anything that's wrong with him that might indicate some kind of illness.
He seems to be in a coma, but when you like lift his eyes open, at first they're completely black.
Oh no,
like
we've seen this before.
and then the ink basically disappears from one eye, and then you look in the other eye and it sort of flows into that eye, and then it's gone. But his eyes are just like hugely dilated.
Oh, I assume I see this as well, right?
You do, yeah.
Does this
Oh,
look like
if
chaos
it's pointed
rules?
out. It does, yeah, it really does. It looks like what you've been experimented on for the last 10 days.
Gann, this looks to be what I am going to trademark as chaos liquid. This viscous liquid I got from the crash site. I don't know how he managed to get it into him, but it appears he was infected.
This
When he
is
fell from the
very,
skies?
very astute of you. I can't imagine how you could possibly know that.
I'm
It's
brains.
taken me.
We've established this over 2 episodes.
Silly acolyte.
It's quite remarkable, but unfortunately, it is a terrible prognosis. Unless we can possibly find the root of this infection, whatever it was, whatever creature, whatever magic caused this terrible malady to come across him, he'll be dead in less than 2 days. I've called you here because as his friends, I thought maybe you might know where he came from. No one seems to know. It's like no one arrives in 10 towns. Where he might possibly have come from.
He came from the sky.
He did what?
I don't know if you remember, but 30 days ago, a meteorite shot across the sky.
The comet? Yes, of course.
Yes.
That would make complete sense.
What?
What?
Yeah, you can both make an insight roll.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'd like to. Why does that make sense? What is my insight?
What?
E.
What did you get, Aaron?
I got +3, 22. I'll take it.
I got a 16 plus 3. 13 plus
Like,
3.
so at first you're thinking like he's just full of shit, and then you're like he seems to know, like he's really confident, and it didn't surprise him at all when he said the comet.
Yeah.
He says, well, to be honest, if he came from the comet, then whatever's inside it, whatever caused it to crash, maybe that's the root of this terrible disease. You don't know where it crashed, did you, the comet?
Oh, wait, yeah, it was outside Dugan's Hole, and we were on the way to Dugan's Hole from here. It's like somewhere between here and Dugan's Hole. Like, we didn't really pay much
Well,
attention.
part of it crashed there. The bigger part of it crashed into the mountains north.
No, not the spine of the world. That's too far. Right, we need to leave immediately. We need axe beaks, we need to get sleds, and we need to head off immediately to find the answer. Come on, let's go.
And he sort of marches out.
This is all very well, but this does not explain why. Obviously, this is where it's come from. It all makes sense. Xalfiz the Practical would like you to show your workings more.
I'll explain on the way. It's divine intervention. The gods have helped me define this. Come on, let's go.
And as you kind of both look really confused, the
Gone.
camera is going to change back 3 weeks, well, it's 10 days into the past as
Is it 10 days?
Strawberry, yeah, it's forgotten around, it's 10 days.
not 30.
It's Strawberry and Graham are in the lift as your companion Lee has gone, quick, look behind you.
No. I did.
It's been a while since that one's worked.
Yep. No, I do that all the time. So just a quick insight check.
Okay, please do, yeah.
If you will.
So Strawberry, go first, please.
Okay, so let's see. 8 on the die plus 2, 10. I'm like, really?
Yeah, you turn around. You absolutely turn around to see what it is he's pointing at. Graham.
14. No modifier.
14.
Nope.
I'm gonna, because it is D&D. I do need to roll. I can't decide that it didn't work. I mean, it's possible, Strawberry. You don't look behind. Let's see. No, you don't. Neither of you are fooled. So
Yeah.
for this, neither of you are surprised as he basically launches towards you with his huge halberd.
What?
So I need you to roll initiative. Let's go
Oh.
first, Strawberry, because you've got the highest dex.
Oh my gosh, betrayed.
Oh my god.
Wow. I'm heartbroken. I've only known this NPC for like 2 seconds. I'm heartbroken. And I only got a 6, so truly.
Gosh.
Truly
Okay, is that a modified
devastated.
6?
Yes, it is.
Oh gosh. Okay, Kuran.
Oh,
Graham.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, I thought I have alert, so I can't be jumped.
You can't be surprised, but you still need to roll for initiative. You get to plus
Okay.
5, I think, for it.
So yeah. It's 14.
Okay, and let's see.
Oh no, I
how
get
he
plus
did.
8 initiative.
Oh bloody hell! So you got 17. Well, you're absolutely going first, and he's going second. Okay,
Yes.
with his 9. Okay, so Graham, how do you react as he launches towards you with this like enormous halberd?
Well, I'm going to try to push him back into the into the lift as was my primary.
Or out of
action,
the
I
lift?
suppose. Out of the lift.
I guess that
Actually,
would be
we're probably
difficult.
going
If
to
you're
go
in the
into the
door.
lift. Yeah, if I could almost like pull him towards where I was standing, we're doing a 180. So
Okay,
I'm in the
so
lift
you're
now,
gonna-
and he's
Okay.
outside.
You'll need to do an athletics roll. It'll be an opposed roll,
Ooh. Okay.
and
Athletics.
you need to beat. I'm rolling so badly today.
Mm.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, I'm okay
Yeah,
with it. I'm
that
okay
went
with it.
really well. Yeah, you need
Oh.
you need to beat a 10.
Oh, and that's not good.
There
It
we
means
go.
when he's rolling with us. He's going to
Okay, so you've got him grappled. So you're basically holding on, and he is unable to remove you. On your next round, you'll be able to move him out.
As my bonus action, can
okay,
can I tie his shoelaces together?
Well, I'm not sure how you do that while grappling. And paint me a word picture of how this happens.
Okay, so my sleeves are up here. I've always got big jacket. This is Graham's thing.
Sure.
We're grappling like this, and then I slip my arm out from under because it's so baggy, and then my hand was like here, and then I just go down and I do and I tie his shoelaces together, and then I put my hands back like, yeah, we're still grappling.
Wow.
Go rope-a-dope.
I know it's fantasy, Karen, but you have hands in real life. You know how they work, right?
So I guess you're trying to do some sort of like kung fu stuff. You kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a
I guess-
deception,
he's
right? Because I'm
still tied
deceiving
up
him
in the
that I'm still
jacket
grappling.
anyway.
Like, I'll give you a sleight of hand, but you need to roll with a disadvantage on this. Like,
Ooh, okay. We'll give it a try. So the first
Nice
one
start,
is 17
nice
plus
start.
7. And the second one is 12 plus 7. So,
19.
Oh boy.
yeah.
wow.
I
Okay,
just
so
did
basically,
rolls.
you kind of grapple him, and then he just easily pushes your arms apart, and it almost knocks you to the ground. And he kind of looks really smug, and then you grab onto him again and pull him forward. But when you let go, you'd actually just bent down and like did his shoelaces up, and then reached up and grappled him again. And he begins to stagger forward. On his go, he's wearing these gauntlets, and they're wrapped in these bands of iron, and he slams his hands together. And there's this explosion. And you actually know, because you know this guy, these are his gloves of thunderclap. And I need you both to make me dexterity saving throws as you are thrown away from him.
Whoa. At least I know he's not going anywhere. Shoelace tied together.
Okay, so Strawberry rolled a 15.
Nice.
And I rolled a 12 plus 3, 15. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so you're both okay. So you both only take 4 points of damage, and you're not knocked to the ground. Strawberry, it's your round.
Okay, yeah, so I'm like, whoa, and I'm gonna reach around my neck and pull my amulet, which is another coin that's been threaded, coin for Timora, and I'm gonna start swinging it back and forth and be like, you don't want to hurt us. And I'm trying to cast Charm Person on
Okay,
this
nice.
individual, so I need him to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, let's see how he does. Wow.
That'll do.
So
Yay!
his arms just drop slack to his sides, and the chest that he was holding drops out of his hands and crunches into the floor. And it kind of just cracks open for a moment as he kind of just stares, mouth open, sort of a bit of drool down the side of his face as he's hypnotized by this coin spinning or rocking back and forth. And for a moment, you've got him, and you realize that you can just turn the lift on and escape.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly, you all begin to float. And you look down, and out of the chest is this thing like a crystal, but it's sickly green, and it looks like it's alive. And inside it is this black ooze, which is like flowing around inside it like it's alive. And you look down at your hands, and you're fading. And you disappear. And we're going to move the camera back up to the frozen north, this time about 29 days into the future. Maybe it wouldn't, it'd be 31 days into the future, because the three of you have traveled from Bryn Shander all the way past Dugan's Hole and towards the spine of the world. It has not been an easy journey. Graham is in a dog sled. He's been passed out the entire time. He's lay on his back, wrapped in these blankets, pulled by these kind of like husky dogs. And I imagine perhaps Xalfiz or maybe the priest is sort of mushing them, or at the back, you know, there's little handles at the back. Gone, I imagine that you've hired an axbeak, which is one of these enormous birds, which is big enough for you to ride if you wish to. You are actually big enough to run alongside if you prefer. It's completely up to you.
Gann just beast-shaped into an axbeak himself.
Perfect. For anyone at home doesn't know what an axbeak is, it looks like a giant chocolate.
Yeah.
We christened them suckables.
As we're running along, it's
Oh, we're nerds.
Anyway.
So a lot of it was uneventful. Obviously, traveling through the snow and tundra is not an easy thing. There was a really terrifying moment where you actually noticed this great white dragon fly above you and descend maybe only 50 meters away, 150 foot away, into this huge herd of reindeer, scattering the bodies in all directions. But it doesn't seem to notice you as you just very quickly march on by.
You run. Not marriage, we ran.
But you arrive at the site where you believe the comet fell. And it is not hard to recognize, because for maybe like 1,000 feet in all directions, the pine trees have completely been flattened, as if like an enormous explosion has gone off. And it was so huge that it's actually blown the top layer of ice and permafrost off. And as you get closer, you're actually walking across frozen dark soil. You reach the lip of this enormous crater, and down below you see this thing, and it's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's maybe like a seashell, but enormous, with strange, like barbarous tentacles poking out the front that seem to be, even now in this sickly green light, moving. Or maybe it's a trick of the light, because there are numerous debris filling this crater, and the light from the still burning fires, how can they be burning? They're still burning with this weird green flame, is causing this almost illusion of movement from this ship. The side of the ship, even from where you can see, has been blown open near its base, and there's a large rent, this hole in the side. And as you look down across this crater, I need you, all three of you, to give me perception rolls.
I'm so used to calling people like Sandy rolls.
Yeah. So, Owen, do you want to start off with Xalfiz? So, what do you see as you're looking down across this crater?
So, with a +3, I rolled 16 + 3 is 19.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, you see an awful lot of things. We'll fill you in with just when Gann rolls his.
Gann has rolled a 17 + 3, 20.
Wow.
Your
Okay.
face, Owen.
You see, there are numerous blocks, but most of it seems to be wreckage. The thing that's very strange is some of it seems to be like the capsule was, made of living material. It looks like shards of bone or flesh or cartilage that are lit by this green fire. What seems to be particularly strange is it also seems to have a hull underneath it, like this living organism is fused onto a metal frame. What you also notice is there are a number of things moving. Now, they almost look like maggots, but two-ended, and they're moving around end to end, so it sort of goes over each other like a rainbow, like, and then the other end goes over each other.
Living slinkies.
Living slinkies. But it sort of squirms inside. If you've seen a maggot move, it kind of like squirms along its many different parts.
Yeah.
And when an end is in the air, you see that it's lined with these like barbed tendrils, and you actually see that all over its body are like thin filaments stretching out as each one seems to be exploring the area. And with your incredible rolls, you also notice they seem to be going from debris to debris, looking for something. You've noticed three of them.
This is physical filaments now, or like magical tendrily type filaments?
It's really difficult to see. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those like electric balls that, when you touch them, the electricity sort of goes up to your fingers. Yeah. So it's like that, but arcing out of it in numerous places.
Can I do like a nature roll to see if I recognize what the hell these things are?
With your nature, you know that these are not of the physical plane. These are not native to the material plane.
And I'd like to, Xalfiz, are they like chaos, liquid related? What do you know what they are?
As he says this, Xalfiz is back facing him on his knees beside Penguin with his multi-tool, and he's stuck into the side of her head. He goes, I don't know what they are. I've made it look while we've been away from our last adventure. I've made some improvements to Miss Penguin, or Lady Penguin. It might help. And he's gonna like turn his multi-tool, and the beak of Lady Penguin's gonna open up and show a cannon. Look, I don't know what they are. They definitely don't look friendly, and they definitely look chaotic.
Should we kill them?
I mean, maybe we should ask. I forget his name.
Could we ask the priest?
Mishan.
Yeah.
Mishan.
I mean, Mishan said it all made sense. So Mishan, what the hell is this stuff? It all makes sense.
Mishan's kind of your landlord. You actually know him really well, Xalfiz. And as I said, he's normally very bookish, but for whatever reason, he's got really excited by saving Graham.
And so goes, well, I mean, that looks like a fantastic machine or device. I mean, I'd love to see it kind of, blast those.
She's not a machine. She's called Lady Penguin.
Sorry. Well, she is a fantastic device, but I'm really worried about our companion here, Graham. If we could get to that ship without them noticing, I think that might be if you could use her to create a distraction, or if you feel maybe we could make it round there, across this plane stealthily.
I would like to say, Gann chimes in saying, we could do this. And
we getting volunteered here, buddy.
No, Gann, he takes like a handful of dirt and kind of throws it up in the air and casts his pass without a trace. Ooh. And it kind of, with the dirt going in, like the kind of dusty dirt going in the air, it kind of makes it kind of a shadow around us, like a living shadow around us that kind of shades us from detection. And pass without a trace basically gives us +10 bonus to our stealth checks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do with Graham? Do you want to have the dogs pull him with the dog sled? Do you want to pull the dog sled, or do you want to carry him?
I can carry him because I'm huge.
Well, some kind
I
of a
can
big
carry
skill.
you.
kind
Frodo.
of like my house smells of rich mahogany.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is, I don't want an NPC roll on this. I don't think that's fair. I'd like the one of you who has the lowest stealth to roll.
Look, before we go doing anything, God, that's a great idea. Love the cool cloud thing. I'm also
It's
going
up
to
to
cast
1 hour,
shield
too.
on myself, if that's possible.
Shield.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
That's done.
What does it look like?
Basically, I would say. So you kind of see my multi-tool, which is my arcane focus, glows a little, and from the point of like the screwdriver on it, a little beam goes out, maybe 2 foot, and a little translucent, or not even translucent, dome. You can kind of tell, like you're looking through smoke or heat of a fire. You know, there's something there, but you don't know what.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay.
That's what it looks like.
A bit like the new Gene trailer with the shields that go over.
Sure, nerd. I've not seen it. I don't know.
Oh, you need to. It's amazing. Anyway, so
Nice.
do you want to do anything else? Do you want to create a distraction or anything, or are you going to stealth down?
Yeah, God just throws a rock in the opposite direction.
Oh God.
Okay, so give me an attack roll. Let's see if you can get the rock near one of these creatures. Let's see.
Oh, like I want to throw it
Oh,
like
this
the
is gonna be the
opposite
crit
way
one.
to where we're going.
Up. Okay, let's give it a roll either way.
This is
God,
going
what
to be a
is my
crit
attack?
1 knowing Niall's form.
Oh, here we go. I got this. Don't worry, we're good.
What's it that?
15.
Okay.
15.
14
okay,
plus
so
1.
I'd imagine because you're quite huge, it's not like for anyone else it'd be for you it's a rock, anyone else it's like a boulder, but you
Yeah,
just
it's
kind of
just like-
launch
It's like that big.
sailing through the air. And it crashes into one of these like piles of debris.
Can it hit one of the worm things? Can it hit one?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want it to hit one.
Yes, I want to hit one.
Okay, so give me 2d8
Why
damage.
pass without a trace and then kill something?
2d8 damage? Sweet.
Yeah.
That's good damage. All right, let's see. D8 times 2. It's only giving me the option to roll 1. Thank you. D20. I'll just roll them separately. An at 1 and an at 8.
9. Okay. So it kind of catches it near its center and it carries on flying on and crashes into this debris with a huge clang, and the other two kind of look in that direction. They haven't got any eyes. They must be able to sense it somehow, and they're kind of like electric feelers reach out and writhe, and they start slinking their way over to it, and there's this odd sound, but you don't hear it, you feel it, like a low hum. The one that you struck, you realize begins to tear apart, and this bright green fluid sprays out in this arc, and where it hits the ground and where it hits the debris, it melts, and you can see fiery smoke lifting out of the metal that it's actually just cutting right through.
That's good to know. That's real good to know. I like. Xalfiz is probably
Who has the
beginning-
lowest stealth? Because I'd like you to roll with advantage for this distraction.
+2.
I got +1.
Okay, go for it. Let's see where you go to.
3, 5, 4
Now
double
it's-
there is going to get us caught.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the nat 1 coming up. 17 plus 1, 18.
Oh,
Fuck
fire,
yes.
fire. We'll take
That's
it.
enough
advantage,
even
I'm
without
actually-
advantage. So
I'll roll the other one just to see what I get. Just rolling. It's not doing anything. Nope. 19 plus 1, 20.
wow. Okay, so there is a horrifying moment where you make it, like you're halfway down this crater and you're passing one of these huge piles, and another one of these creatures just launches out of it, and it seems to be sensing you. It's like tasting the air, and this low hum, this buzzing noise increases and increases, but your misty barrier seems to be preventing it from detecting you, and you manage to march on by. You make it to this rent in the side of the ship, and you realize the ship is at an angle, and as you peer in, you see a large room, absolutely huge, at least 50 feet long, but because it's at an angle, the lower half of it seems to be filled with this viscous green liquid, very similar to that poured out of this creature. There's a door on that wall, which is half submerged, and on the left hand are these round pods, different from the ones you saw, Graham, which seems to be made of glass, although they're surrounded with this webwork of there's no other way of describing it. It looks like flesh. but they're all ripped open, and from them there's these like veins which go up the ceiling, up the walls into the ceiling where there's a hole above. And Mishan goes,
Gosh, what are those? Xalfiz, you're a bit of an expert. Could you maybe see what they're for?
Why, yes, I could. I am a bit of an expert.
Mishan looks very, very interested in these pods. He almost looks hungry.
Look, Mishan, I mean, you clearly have a theory of what these are, so while I'm trying to figure it out, maybe any information you have, you could provide to me to, round out her scientific theory.
He looks at you, and his eyes are wide, almost crazy. He goes,
These are, creatures from another dimension. When do we get another chance to see this again?
Okay, and have you been trying to meet creatures from another dimension? Summon creatures from another dimension?
Well, as you ponder this, let us move the camera back in time, but not back to Mirabar. We're going to move to a whole other place entirely. As Graham, you open your eyes into darkness, and then suddenly you open them again because you hadn't actually opened them. It's almost like a film has gone back across your eyes, and you're staring at red, and you are suspended in this horrendous ichor. It's like syrup or jelly, and you kind of flail against it, and your hand touches against this thing on your stomach. You realize that this tendril has embedded itself through your clothes into your stomach, and you are trapped inside a pod, a bit like the Matrix, kind of, those kind of like human-sized pods, and you're kind of struggling against it. And you can see to your right, Strawberry is in exactly the same situation, and she's hammering against the glass. Oh, sorry, he's hammering it against the glass. And to your left, you've got Mishan as well, who's banging against it, but he's got these gloves, and with every bang, there's a crack appearing, although it's very, very thin.
Oh
What do you
dear.
do?
Is there a way for me to try and struggle any further? Could I get my hand on my blades?
Yeah, they're still there. You're still armed.
Islam, yeah. So I'm gonna try to grab my blades and start cutting away to cut myself free.
Okay, again, from this thing. Okay, absolutely. Strawberry, what do you wish to do?
Yeah, I think, well, let's see. Would I panic and use the spell? Probably. I'll keep it together, and I am also going to try, and get my dagger out. Oh, I also have a mace, probably, so I'm gonna, try and get my mace out and, try to get enough momentum to, jam it into the cracks to kind of leverage it open and crack through.
Nice. Okay, so you're working on the pod itself, not on this umbilicus. And you're working, Graham, actually to cut the thing. So, Strawberry, can you first give me a strength check?
Oh boy, not Strawberry's strong suit, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try with our whole hearts. Okay, so that's an 8 on the die with strength. Oh, -1, so that'll be 7. A hot 7.
You kind of you're sort of full of anger and you crash it into it, but obviously you're held back by the fact you're sort of literally suspended in this weird fluid, and your mace cracks against it, and it's like touching something. It's not like glass. It bows against it like it's like you're in the inside of an eyeball. Like it's that kind of feeling. Graham, do you want to give me a?
Thank you.
You want to give me a damage roll as you cut against this umbilicus?
Damage roll. So that's 1d6.
Yeah.
Do you have a sneak attack? Is he flanked?
Can I flank it? No. So it's. Oh no, sorry. It was 1d4 plus 3. That's what I'm supposed to do. There we go. Did it right this time. 7.
Wow. Okay, you just cut straight through it, and it sprays this black liquid out of the pipe, and it starts to fill up the pod you're in. So what was once red is now turning black. But you also, looking down, and for a moment you see it's actually spraying out of the hole that's in your stomach. or there's part of it that's still attached to your stomach. And there's just a moment where you can see, and then that's filled with black as the everything below your waist is turning inky. From your left, you see that Lee has crashed into the pod again, and his hand has ripped through it. And then suddenly this alarm starts sounding, but it's not like a magical alarm, something that you would find normal. It's not like a metal bell. It's like this low hum. You don't hear it, you feel it. It's like an angry wasp, or it feels very unnatural. It's almost painful, like a vibration.
So
and
while the
he's
ink is
pulling
spraying
his
from
way
me,
out.
Yeah, so the ink is spraying from me. I can see that he's pulling his way out, and I can see over, and I'm like, oh, I didn't think this through, Strawberry. I didn't think this through.
Bubbles come out of Strawberry's mouth. They're clearly screaming. And I want to go ahead and switch tactics and maybe try my cantrip Sacred Flame to burn my way out of whatever this sack is.
Yeah, definitely. How does that look as you do burn into it?
Yeah, well, I think because it's like holy fire, I think it manages to maintain shape, you know, as I'm burning through this goo here, and I'm just like putting up all of my fingers, just have this like reddish gold flame just like burning through the edge of this thing, which I imagine was probably like really acrid and smoky, like as I'm breaking through whatever this is. But Strawberry's full panic and is going to burn their way out no matter what.
And it bubbles like if you're burning fat. Like that's the kind of reaction it has, and it blackens, sort of turning opaque as you touch against it. Yeah. Do you want to give me a damage roll? Let's see if you can get through it.
Yeah. Whew. Okay. Come on, Strawberry. We've been in worse scrapes than this. Have we? I don't know. Okay, that is going to be 5 damage as I'm burning through this thing.
Wow. Okay, so you've managed to get your hand through it, and your hand is out, and this water starts. Well, it's not water. This kind of jelly-like liquid starts pouring out around you, and as it kind of descends below your headline, you begin to choke, and you realize that you could actually breathe when it was in your lungs. It's the most bizarre feeling, and even as it comes out, you're not coughing. It's just oozing out of you, like it's very wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do all I can to like make sure I can not be in the goo anymore, and then I'm probably gonna deal with this goo situation.
How are you dealing with this? Obviously, you've now wrenched yourself out of Strawberry. You're still attached to this umbilicus.
Yeah. Well, now that I can breathe and I'm not feeling claustrophobic, I'm gonna go ahead and like take a dagger and just like saw through whatever this business is.
Horrendous. It's really awful, and you can actually feel it. That's the thing that's really odd, is as you're cutting through it, it doesn't hurt, but it's like cutting through a part of yourself. It's a really awful feeling. Graham, what are you doing as you kind of like you're filling up into blackness?
I don't know whether to pull it back in or to just let it flow out. What do I want? I'm torn.
So not in it.
So yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna start hacking or poking my dagger, I suppose, towards the actual surface of the I guess orb I'm in.
Yeah.
Trying to free myself to get outside, as I've noticed now that everyone else is outside except for me.
Okay, give me that damage roll. Let's see if you can do it. If you'd rather use strength, you absolutely can, or you can just give me a straight damage.
I am not giving you strength. That's not happening.
Not a strength party.
So I rolled 4 damage.
Okay, that's enough. So you begin to pull yourself free. You notice that Lee, your companion, has basically pulled himself out, dripping wet, and he's run over to the far side of the room where there's this door, and he's basically just trying to pull it open. And it's not so much like a door, it's like an iris. And he's got his hands into the middle, this sort of fleshy middle, and he's wrenching it open. You can see his hands glowing with this strength, and he thumps into it, and there's this like boom, and the door cracks. Strawberry, how are you handling this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just trying my best, trying to keep a positive attitude. That's the Strawberry way. So once I've cut through this tendril, I'm gonna go over to Graham's tank and start, hammering in between, like, because I just see the black filling up, so I'm like, buddy, and I'm just, like burning through it, because that seemed to work well. So I'm gonna Sacred Flame and do whatever I can to try and get Graham out of this tank.
So you start ripping him out, and Graham's in complete blackness, and you kind of pull him out, and this syrupy stuff pours out over you and over him, and it absolutely stinks. The stuff that was on you didn't stink until you cut into this black liquid, which again you're covered in as well. And then as you pull Graham out, you hear this scream from behind you, and you see that Lee has been engulfed by 3 of these horrendous maggot things. I don't know if you've seen King Kong, where there's this like maggot combat where one's over his arm, like it's completely engulfed his arm. One is on his side, and there's but he's battling it. And then one basically just completely engulfs his head, and the iris shuts, blocking him from sight.
Like big leeches or something like that?
Sorry? Yeah.
Like big leeches.
Okay.
God, well, I'm getting Graham off, and I'm trying to wipe off whatever I can, from my eyes and face. Just
to clarify, is the object that we stole from the Dwarven Temple in Mirabar?
Not there.
Not
no
there.
sign of it. No sign of it.
Oh dear. Right. Not my biggest concern, but just bit of checking. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, Graham, are you okay? Are you fine? I mean, I think I'm fine. It's just very gross. And what happened?
This is disgusting. This is absolutely the most disgusting thing.
Disgusting. No, 10 out of 10.
I don't know if I want the black stuff in or out. Is it part of me? I don't know. No.
I have no idea.
Also,
what?
I noticed Lee, the Irish shuts, and I said, so yeah, Lee's being eaten by maggots back there, so perhaps we should go take a look.
I mean, yeah, but he also did kind of betray us, so maybe we should let him fight I don't really know what the good call here is. Are there any other, exits or windows out of this room, or is it just that weird sphincter door?
Well, now that the sphincter door has has closed, it's actually quite hard to see. So as you kind of look around the room, which is lit by the kind of eerie red light from these sort of numerous globules, these pods that are around, although none of them seem to be filled other than the 3 you were in. Do you want to give me a perception, or do you want to start Strawberry and then Graham do the second one after?
Sure. I'll go ahead and I'll grasp the amulet around my neck and cast light, just to really brighten things up in here. And then I will go ahead and do that perception check. I'm freaking out! So I only got a 4. So that'll be a hot 6.
And Graham?
A hot 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So let's
killing it.
So this room is really chitinous. It's like these kind of bony growths are covering the walls, and although you can see the whole way across the room, they kind of go in these kind of arcs all the way around, sort of partly blocking your sight, almost like these kind of pillars that are holding up the roof. But as you get close to one, you realize that they're covering up something else. Now, with obviously the 2 failed perceptions, you can't get any detail, but they are growing onto what seems to be metal decking, almost like what you would see in a dwarven mine or a gnome contraption. Have you ever been in one of those before? But these growths are going on top of it. And I think we're going to move the camera back into the future as Xalfiz, Gann, and Mishan stand on the edge of this kind of rent in the side of the ship. The floor is at about 45 degrees. On your left are these broken open pods. On your right is this pool of green liquid, and from the pods come these kind of strings that are kind of almost being ripped out of the wall and the ceiling, and it heads up to another hole in the ceiling.
Yes, so Mishan, what you definitely weren't actively trying to commune with anything. Have you an idea of why this crashed to the earth?
I've no idea. You're the ones that told me about this thing. I mean, I saw the comet, the shooting star, but when you talked about...
It made sense, though, you buddy. You said it made sense.
We do it
look
insight
at me.
Again to see if he's...
Get fingers to the eyes, look at me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am
You can
the
both do
captain
the
now,
insight
look
roll.
at me.
I think probably Xalfiz, you can do the insight roll because you're the one asking the questions. Let's not double.
Oh, that may have been a mistake. Oh, no, plus 3. Okay.
Yeah.
15 total.
15. Okay, well, I'm gonna make a roll as well. because I think it's
because
D&D.
he's 100% genuine.
Because he's a trustworthy person.
Because he's a trustworthy person.
Never trust religious folk.
He rolls a 4.
He
Joe, I'm
doesn't-
loving your rolls today. It's making
They're
me
going
go-
really well, yeah. So he looks really manic for a second, and he looks at you both and goes,
I just, right. I dreamt of all this. It was a dream. I knew the comet was there, and as soon as Graham passed out, I knew that it was linked to my dream, and I know that there's something here of value to Icewind Dale. I know it, and I'm sure it's over those pods, those things there.
Right. Well, look,
What was your dream?
I don't think that's important right now.
It's a very good question. No. Anything? Any insight?
I mean, if you want to give me another insight roll.
Oh no, that's not what I meant. I was just like, can you give us is it in character asking? Have you got any more insight you can give us?
No,
So-
all I know is this has fallen from another dimension, and there's something in it which is really important for us. It's trapped here.
Okay. I'm 100% on board, buddy. Look,
He's still looking really manic.
we can do this, and I have just a scientific
Trust
device
this
for
guy
this,
at
right?
all.
I'm also going into your accent. Perfect. My name is Xalfiz. There we go. Look, I have the perfect scientific device for this. We need your help. I think there's something to do with these weird wiry cable things. Might be the secret to this item that can save Icewind Dale. I have this scientific probe. I'm going to hand him my extendable collapsing pole
Okay.
arrow that I made.
Nice.
Look, this is for scientific research. It's got a pointy end. If you're in trouble, you stab things with it. Bad things, not us. Look at me. All right. You press this button, it'll extend.
Xalfiz, you've already tried to sell me this 7 times. It's like whenever I meet you, you try and send me this extendable. I don't know why you think that I would want an extendable pot. And they're over there, like they're 20 feet over there. It wouldn't help me anyway. And I'm not an artificer. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, I'll come with you. Like, I'll help you. I'll help you get there. And I think
You are
Don
not
maybe.
an artificer. You are not crucial to this mission, but you can help. You can be a big key part. And when we tell the story of how we saved Icewind Dale, this is your story. This is your moment.
Okay.
Books, the bards, they'll make it huge. All
Okay.
you do is press that button and just, probe around those areas and see if you can find this item. I'm going to step back like 8 feet.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gon doesn't. Gon
An encouraging
is,
8 feet, though. You can
Gon
do
is
it, buddy. It's your
100% on
moment.
board.
Okay, so he presses the button, and it extends 10 feet, and he looks
Into
really
his eye.
confused, and he sort of like starts like clambering, and it's quite difficult because I said it's like 45 degrees at an angle. So he's got one hand on the floor to his left and one hand holding out the pole, and he starts like clambering over
You can
towards
do it,
the
Miss
pods.
Shan. Go on.
And he gets there, and he goes, "Right, I'm here. Come on." And he's like,
I
sort of.
thought you dreamed of this magic item. Like, just poke some of the things.
No, it's in
like,
the
figure-
ship. I just need you to. I don't know what these pods are. Come and have a look.
I guess we're gonna walk over really reluctantly.
Yeah, I'll like
Damn
clamber in, and I've got Graham with me, so this is kind of awkward for Gon. Graham is probably could very well slip and fall into that green acid goo, which you
it.
said.
Are we
it
going to
looks-
Acquisition Inc. this? Is that what's happening?
yeah, Graham becomes Will Wheaton. Anyway, I move towards the pods with that.
Yeah, I'll follow.
okay.
I think
My shoulder.
slowly.
Okay,
not-
so I mean, Xalfiz, do you want to give me an Arcana roll to see if you can determine anything about these pods?
I would love to. Again with a +3.
Can I do like a nature check on them, or
Ooh, I'm very distracted by this manic religious nut kook who's dreaming of different dimensions. And I got an 8.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean, if you would like to spend longer there, you
Hold
can
on, is
roll
this,
again.
is this a technology
Yes.
or a magic item? I have
Yes.
advantage as a gnome.
Nice.
My gnome cunning, I think it is. So I got a 14 total.
So you've not come across anything specifically like this, but you're kind of looking at it, and then you're looking at it. The tubes are dripping black goo, and you think this is something for implanting. Like that's what it is. You think there'd be someone in these pods, and these are for implanting eggs or implanting goo, or like it's really quite unpleasant. But you also determine with that roll that whatever the source of this black goo is in the room above you, through this hole in the ceiling.
how big is the hole?
But you also notice some strange things. It's big enough for you to get through.
Okay.
But it's kind of rent and sharp, so it's not necessarily going to be an easy or safe climb. You also notice, Xalfiz, that beneath the chitinous walls, there's something very familiar. you think the walls themselves are of gnomish construction. Not the kind of the growths, but whatever's underneath them. If you've ever visited a lantern or you've ever been part of the big kind of communes of artificers, this looks like one of their devices.
Gann, I think this ship was, or is, like a gnomish kind of artificial creation. I've never seen one in myself, but like in my studies in Mirabar, I always dreamed of seeing one of these. But there's something like growing on it, like these weird tendrils are. It's like stuff in nature. It's to like infect or inject this goo into someone. Like our friend here. And he knocks on Graham's head.
I've never seen anything like this anyway. What you said the ship could be gnomish, but this growth on it, what have you ever seen anything like this? I'm assuming you haven't, but
I guess we got it like Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over there says it's from a different dimension, so I guess that's what we're going with. That's my leading theory at the moment. It came from the sky. Look, it looks like this black goo dripping is coming from upstairs. Like if we can get up there, maybe there's a way to a machine that can reverse whatever's happened to our colleague.
Maybe usually with most the medical things we have in nature, in the forest amongst my clan, it's usually whatever causes the illness can often heal it too. So
yeah, I mean that makes sense. And if worse comes to worse, if it looks like it's going south, like the practical thing is we just kill Graham before it gets like tentacle heads like in Dugan's Hole. Like that's always the practical decision. We're not there yet.
I don't know about killing him, but we know that
you're not Xalfiz the practical. I make the practical calls.
I think that's probably a perfect point to move back to Graham and see how he's getting on with Strawberry.
Sorry, Kuran.
I really wanted to put Graham back in the pod that he just got out of.
So rude.
So the two of you are in this room that's filled with these chitinous growths. To one side is this closed sphincter, and you've tried to find other exits, although you're not sure.
Iris, just saying.
Anyway. Let's go back to Iris. Yeah.
I don't really see any other options out here, so I guess maybe we should try and open up that door and see if there's anything left of our buddy there.
So, yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. Right. So, I just run over to the door and I just basically try and, like, I'm guessing it's the center. Is it organic matter or is it metal?
It's very much organic matter.
Oh, okay, so I'm just going to stab into the middle with a dagger.
Yeah, I'm going to also put flame on it, because hopefully if it's anything like real flesh, it'll recoil from...
Yeah, it absolutely does. There's almost like this kind of chittering hiss, this low hum, this vibrate. As you kind of stab into it, it's like a scream, but in a whole different level of volume, different level of frequency that you can't hear. And it arcs open. And before you are 3 dead, maggoty creatures and this kind of pool of milky goo around them and a corridor heading off into darkness.
Now, we've been working with Lee for quite a while. I just want I never thought he had it in him. He was such a nice fellow.
Just betray us? Yeah. No, this is all very, very odd.
Yes.
Maybe he's having an off day, but I mean, I do appreciate he's certainly done his job, which makes our job easier. So maybe we should just follow a couple minutes behind wherever he goes, and
that way we can avoid any form of
Big Bong, we're out of here. Yeah,
absolutely. Now let's go. So we're gonna try and I'm gonna look to see. Yeah, we're just basically trying to track. Like, did he go? Did you say it was like at the end of this corridor? It goes left.
The corridor. So it disappears into darkness, but as you're kind of moving your way along, and it's kind of like moving down like a throat. I think you've seen the inside of a throat on a camera, like it's ridged. And you pass by, so there's an intersection that does go left, right, but also straight on. But next to the intersection are these pink crystals that grow out of the wall, and they seem completely out of place for the ship that you've seen. But growing into them are these tendrils, as if they're somehow kind of a bit like they did with you, I guess, kind of like becoming part of them.
Let's not do anything with that. I want to look down all of the hallways and see if there's any sign of bloodshed or
milky fluid or goo in any
Yeah.
direction to indicate a way to go.
So if you're spotting down the corridor, that's going to be a perception. If you want to kind of examine the floor for a blood trail or a milky goo trail, that'd be investigation. So you can choose.
Okay, my perception is slightly better, so I shall do that. Oh, okay, so a 15 on the die will get me a 17 total.
Wow. Okay, so you can. So you're doing perception.
Yes.
So you can absolutely see ahead that there is another one of these irises at the far end of the corridor. The corridor to your left goes down, and it's got kind of a slope, and you think it's going to be spiraling round to the left, and the corridor to your right is spiraling up. So the one going to your left will be kind of like anti-clockwise, and the one to the right is going clockwise up. And so it's going to another level above you. As you make that roll, as you're kind of peering down, there's this huge kind of like explosion from in front of you, from behind whatever that door is. And the whole ship kind of like shudders and begins to tilt to the side. And you feel yourself kind of falling over in that direction. And although it's not an alarm, this kind of low hum reaches a whole other frequency, like the entire ship is in pain. Then it rocks past in the other direction, and the iris ahead kind of opens, and you can see ahead that what's his name? Sorry, that Lee. You see him running across the room in the distance. It kind of this sort of flashing red, fiery light, and then it closes again, blocking him from sight.
So I say we give him about 2 minutes, maybe
and
3.
then we go in there?
And
yeah,
then-
that
and
sounds
then
like
we
a
go,
good
yeah.
plan.
Nice.
Watch.
Okay.
How about we just like fist bump real quick?
Yeah, no, we got this.
Got this.
That's
So as
Lee's
you
job.
begin
He's
to-
he's the front man.
Yeah. Are you going to kind of like, are you going to run down the corridor? Are you walking down the corridor? How are you? But you stealth.
A casual walk.
Yeah,
I
we have
think.
2 minutes, so
Casual
casual stroll.
So as you do, the ship rocks again to the other side, and I'm going to need both of you to give me a dexterity saving throw. So let's start with Strawberry.
This ship doesn't seem very stable.
Absolutely not.
I hope we're not flying anywhere.
Okay, so 11 on the die, so that'll be a 14 total.
You're fine. You manage to keep your feet. You kind of
Ooh.
reach your hand out to the side, and you keep your feet. So Graham, same deal.
All right, 18 then.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You have. You don't even. You just kind of like stroll up onto the wall for a minute. So you're just like walking, like stroll back
Walking
onto
with
the
the.
floor.
Yeah, I walk back.
You've got your space legs.
I have my Inception moment. It's just.
Yeah, we've been at out late after a few drinks many times. This is fine. This is
Nice. Okay. So you reach the door, and it's kind of like irising open and closed, and so partly it kind of opens the whole way and then shuts again really quickly, and you're given this glimpse, and you can see that Lee is causing chaos. He's got these kind of glowing gloves, and he's like thumping them into the wall, and every time he thumps into the wall it kind of rips them open, and these like black tubes pour out, spraying this milky liquid everywhere, and then he's kind of like laughing and then going on to the next place and thumping that. He's just causing chaos.
He is insane.
He's like 20 feet away from you at this moment.
Do there seem to be any other doors or exits out of the room in front of us, or is he just like in a room causing mayhem?
It's quite a long, wide room, a bit like the one that you started in. And for a moment, you kind of notice things that look like those pods, although they're slightly different. They look more like they're made of bone, or kind of like cartilage. But it keeps on closing, so you can't really see any more unless you either want to give me like a perception roll as it opens, or if you want to enter the room.
I'm gonna look at you, Graham.
I think I'm gonna go into the room. I think this is
Okay.
my.
Right.
So you stay out here, and if it sounds bad, run away. If it sounds good, run away. And
Okay, so I'm going
Let
to
you
need
be
an
the judge.
acrobatics because these things like opening and shutting and opening and shutting.
Yeah.
When it shuts, it kind of shuts with quite a lot of force.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm going to
well-
need an acrobatics roll to get through it.
Okay, here we go. Oh God, that's a natural 1.
Oh, boy.
+5. So I get 6.
Well, a 1 is a 1, unfortunately. So as you leap through and you realize you've mistimed it and it descends towards you, let's move the camera over to Xalfiz.
You're a bad man.
Has Graham inherited Gann's luck?
So I believe, if I'm right in saying, were you trying to get into the room above?
Gann is basically taking Xalfiz's lead at this stage because this is so out of what he's used to, because this is nothing natural. This is nothing of our world.
Okay.
So
Gann, we've got 2 options. Either we climb up through that jaggedy metal, explosion hole, which could cut us, inject us with weird, oily chaos juice, or we explore the ship some more, find out how it crashed, maybe, or find a door to the next level. Just push on through this building, and Milshan, or however you say his name, he can mind the
Mishan,
pods.
he's your friend. You've known him for a while.
He's my landlord.
You live
I
with
pay him money. He's not my friend. I get real
I'm
friends.
right
that
here,
make me money.
I can hear everything you say.
And if they're ready to be with you next week, Milshan, jeez, get off my back.
You said that last week, actually. Well, I mean, there's those doors
the
down
extent of a
there.
hole.
And he points to the pool.
So the door is submerged in the pool.
But if you want to have a search for other doors, you absolutely can. If you want to give me a perception roll, or if you want to kind of start really kind of looking at the walls in detail, give me an investigation.
I think
roll.
Xalfiz's natural instinct would be to search for doors that don't kill him.
Yeah. Can we both roll, or do you just want Xalfiz to do it?
Let's say Xalfiz. Yeah, we'll say Xalfiz.
+3. I got an 18.
Wow. Okay, so you absolutely do notice that on the wall directly ahead of you is another one of these iris doors. I'm not going to say sphincter. That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
Thank you, Celeste.
Thank you, Twitch chat.
I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry.
I'm so happy. Oh.
Welcome. Hi. Thanks for having me.
But it
You're
kind
not the
of
one getting
looks
killed
like
by one.
half grown. Like it's not like the other one looks like it's intentional. Like it's really, it's like a perfect circle, and the folds of the membrane look neat. Whereas this looks like it's like half in the wall, half out of the wall.
Half blown out, is this?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Yeah. No, it's it just looks like it's kind of grown badly. Like it looks almost cancerous.
Can that cure wounds?
No.
Look, I have an idea on how to do this without like extendable poles or do something safe.
Whatever you're doing, you need to do it quickly. And he points where 50 feet behind you, where like 3 of these maggoty things are kind of like coming through the door.
Is there a button like to act? Is there a visual way to activate the door?
No, there doesn't seem to be.
Gann just go over and just hit it with his club.
Yes, you can. What's Gunn's strength?
For science.
Well, he cast Shillelagh on the club before he hits, so it's a magic modifier. So it's a +5.
Okay, so you don't have to roll. So your club just basically tears through this like diseased flesh, and it just this sort of like black, not black liquid like you've seen in the thing. This is more like kind of diseased milk. Like if you like off milk is sort of pouring from the rens that you've made, and you see behind it a really strange room because it doesn't appear like the room that you've been in, where it's just kind of like this flesh has grown over it. This actually looks like a metal corridor, leading maybe only about 15 foot down, and the corridor is low, like only 5 foot high, and maybe only about 8 foot wide. No, probably the other way around. 8 foot high and 5 foot wide.
Okay.
And at the end there is a door which is rather than like an iris, it's got like it's quite steampunk. It feels like there's like a handle that you can turn that would open it. And
like
Xalfiz, you recognize this absolutely as lantern construction. So there's an island of lantern in the far south Forgotten Realms where gnomes and priests of Gond, I believe, they create these amazing wonders. And I imagine that as an artificer, you've either been there, maybe as part of your apprenticeship, or you've read books of this place.
Yeah,
and this
so I would have studied it.
looks like that. Yeah.
I was right, Gann. It is a gnomish creation. Look at this.
As you're walking up to behind Gann, like
There is metalwork. There's no race on anywhere in the Forgotten Realms that could do this kind of work. Don't get too excited. It's amazing.
Well,
give me something to work with, maybe.
I was gonna. Well, do you know how to operate whatever kind of, I guess, machinery this is?
Yes, theoretically, 100% know how to operate this.
Well,
But
then do you want to lead the way?
This is crashing to the ground, but we'll see if it can fly, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna like excitedly, excited and cautiously skip down the corridor, try to open up this bulkhead. I've been in a joke game before.
Okay,
John is,
so
just like hunched over because he can't stand up to full height in here because it's just 8 foot. He's like a bit over that, and he's just carrying Graham too.
So you make your way down, and the door opens at the end into a circular chamber, and in the center are these pink crystals growing out of the floor. Now you recognize these as memory crystals. You've only ever seen one that's only maybe an inch long, and into it you can pile in, like, a person's entire life can be held in here. Like, it can hold immense amounts of information and data, and they can also be used to create some really intricate items. But you've just never seen anything like this. And you also know that you can interact with it, and it can be used to control things. But unfortunately, there's a rend in the floor where these tendrils have come up, and they've begun to kind of embed themselves into the memory crystals themselves, and you can see these black strands in amongst the glowing pink.
Ooh.
Any
Look,
idea what to do here?
I have one idea, first of all. Those weird creepy things keep following us, so maybe we'll do this first.
Xalfiz is going to turn around, take out his multi-tool. The little screwdriver is going to pop down, the kind of little pipette's going to come out, and I'm going to cast grease behind us in the corridor. And I'm assuming Miss Shan is with us, is he?
Yeah.
So, like, kind of at where the sphincter door was, the iris door was. I'm going to cast it around that entrance where it narrows to the 5 feet in width, and just cast grease there.
Nice,
That
okay.
should slow down our little friends. These are mind crystals. They're used to make crazy gnome stuff, is the simplest way to tell you, Gann. They can store all of the seasons of Game of Thrones.
Well, in fact, do you want to give me intelligence roll? Like, it can be Arcana as well, and because it's sort of gnomish, you can roll with advantage.
Hey. So +3 to any of those.
Oh!
We'll take a crit.
Wow.
Take a crit the
Okay.
first one. Don't need the second
With
one.
a 20, you have heard of this thing before. This is the helm of a spell-jamming vessel. This is the heart of the vessel itself. This is what controls it. It allows it to fly, and it can also be used to interact with any other memory crystal within the entire ship, and you can transport yourself there using it.
So
Right.
these are basically magic crystals that do everything. They control the ship. They can communicate to other rooms. You can move through the crystals somehow to the other rooms. In theory, it's very cool stuff.
How do they react to heat?
Good question.
Looks into his little notebook. Do I know how they react to heat?
You've no idea.
They're probably crystals. They're probably fine. But like, why are you thinking,
Okay.
Gann?
I wanted to try to burn the tentacles off of them with.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's not better than what I was thinking.
The tendrils are actually inside them. They're somehow kind of actually integrated with them themselves.
I'd still like to cast bonfire on one of them to see if anything happens.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
If we nuke this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, every like alarms go off, sirens this time, not a humming.
Okay, so as you do, there's kind of like a screech from the whole ship, and there's kind of a rumble from inside. But they do seem to like burn and melt under your fire and your flame, but they still seem to be embedded within the crystal. Before we change camera, Xalfiz, do you want to interact with these crystals at all?
Good idea. You definitely should.
Yeah.
Do it.
Look, Gann. If anything happens, if I look like I'm in trouble, if any of those tentacles move towards me, I want you to remove my hand from this crystal anyway. Like, whatever you need to do. Like, first try and pull me off. Like, don't go straight for the shillelagh. But after that, wait, let me rephrase that. First try and remove my hand.
Okay, I'll make sure you're safe.
Xalfiz is going to walk up and put his hand to it. for science, I guess. I don't know if I am
Okay.
brains.
Does Xalfiz have a surname?
The practical.
The
I mean, does
practical.
he have a family name? Is he from the practical family?
No,
The
he's
most
like
practical.
He's like
Le
Madonna, it's just
practical.
the practical. Yeah.
Okay, so as
Oh,
soon
he
as you touch it, you hear this melodic voice in your head go, Xalfiz, the practical, welcome to the ID Ascension. What do you wish to know?
How to fix all of this?
Unfortunately, my memory banks are decayed. There is no way to fix the spelljamming hell. What do you wish to know?
How to deworm a memory crystal?
Unfortunately, that is not in my understanding. What do you wish to know?
How can you help me?
Slash
do you wish to
reboot,
know?
What have we got?
Help
So while
Graham.
you consider this and you interact with this strange voice of the spelljamming hell, let's move back. Graham, as the let's call it a sphincter, as the sphincter descends upon you. Strawberry, I'll give Strawberry one action if you wish to take it.
Yes, I want to try and pull Graham out of the door just in time, or maybe instead I want to try and do what I did before because the fire seemed to make
Okay.
the door react. So I want to get in maybe right on top of where Graham is and just burn it real quick so I can subvert the timing enough to grab Graham.
As you jump
Okay.
in, as
That
you jump
sounds
in,
like a
we look at
really
each
cool
other like,
thing.
"Pff, here we are again.
What a world!
It's just another Tuesday. What's it?
Okay, so I feel there's a roll here. So you can either do this with a straight damage roll, or it might be more fun to do it as something like a dexterity, like a sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, let's do sleight of hand. Oh boy! All right. Let's not. Natural 20. So it's
Wow.
25 altogether.
So what would you like to happen?
Yeah. So I guess So because we're trying to get through the door, so I guess I'll jump because I see that Graham is about to get crunched by the door. So I'll kind of throw my body on top of it. I think in slow motion, I send up the fire as we tumble and roll inside this door here. So the door pulls back for just a moment, giving us that window, and closes right behind us as we slide into the side where our friend is
Nice.
raising hell.
Okay, so now that you're kind of in this room, the entire wall to your right, you realize is like a membrane, and it's completely see-through, and you see below you, thousands of feet below you, are the mountains of the spine of the world. There's kind of like it's not a seat, but that's the only way you can possibly describe it, facing this membrane, and these crystals are on either side of it, these glowing pink crystals that have kind of been infused with this black tendrils, or it's more the kind of growths that you see on the walls. Behind them are these pods, these chitinous pods, and Lee is just causing chaos. And he's like, "You infect me with black goo, will you?" And he slams his hand into the wall and rips out a load of these pipes. And then the ship screams as it does so, and it begins to kind of judder, and you feel yourself flung to one side. And as you do, I need you to both make me dexterity saving throws.
You know, Strawberry, I don't think I don't think we should be hiring him ever again.
No. This is absolutely despicable behavior. I think he needs some anger management or
Oh
something.
my god. Jesus.
Whoops.
You too. You too.
Oh gosh! So what did you get, Graham?
I've rolled a 2.
Okay, that's good. Strawberry.
I rolled a 5, so that will put me at an 8 total.
You're not successful criminals, are you?
So
Well,
You know what? I saved him from getting shoved in a sphincter,
Absolutely
so I
true,
don't know
yes.
what you want from me.
That's not a sentence you hear often.
okay, so I think the way we're going to do this is, Graham, you fly across the room first, and you kind of trip, and you fall into one of these pods, these kind of egg-shaped things. And as you hit the back wall, it just goes and closes on you. But it's not got a wall or anything. It just goes, and then it just drops and you have gone out of sight. And you see, Strawberry, that there's just this kind of hole in front of you, where looking straight down upon, I guess, Icewind Dale, and Graham's pod is just falling down towards it. On your 5, you fall towards the other pod, and it just you touch it, but you don't fall into it. It just falls down as well, leaving another
Oh my god.
exit,
Oh my
leaving
god.
only one more pod, and you're now facing off against Lee, and he's like, "I'd escape," and his hands are just like dripping in black goo. "Move aside, Strawberry. I don't want to hurt you more than I have to."
Oh, hell no. And I'm gonna blast off like a guiding bolt and try to kill this guy because I am getting in this pod.
Nice. Let's roll for initiative.
Oh my god. I'm not going. You no.
I refuse.
Absolutely not. Okay, so I got a 13, which will put me at a 16.
Okay, so
Total.
he rolls a 20.
No!
His initiative, so he absolutely goes first. So he charges towards you, and he kind of like slams his wrists together again as he gets closer, and there's this kind of boom, and you are kind of thrown off your feet. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my gosh, okay. I'm so scared.
I don't
Like
want
I'm
to-
a one-shot guest or something, and I fear for my life. Alright,
no.
that's only a 10.
Okay, so you fail, so you are blown off your feet. You fly back 10 feet, and you take 2d8 damage. So that's a 7 and a 7, so that's 14 damage.
Oh my god.
And Lee jumps into the other pod
Rude.
and disappears from sight.
Oh, what a jerk.
I'll
No.
get you, Lee, one day. You have not seen the last of Strawberry Fields.
I yelled down the hall.
She becomes the Emperor of Star
Strawberry
Wars.
Fields forever.
And I guess, I mean, what do you want to do? You've probably got like a minute, if that, before this ship crashes into the mountains. You can see through this open window, or this membrane in front of you, where you're heading.
F. Okay. So right now, am I at a point where if I dropped out of the hole, I would potentially land in snow instead of mountain, or am I like there were just mountains below me?
You possibly would, but you'd probably be traveling at about 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Then I'm going to maybe.
Make a hand
gonna-
grenade out of metal.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
What race is Strawberry?
I'm a halfling.
A halfling. So
Uncanny dodge.
yeah.
The
I
Earth.
dodged the earth.
So I guess maybe then to try and survive this fall. I don't think falling is gonna do it for me, but I'm gonna run back into the room like where all these weird pods were before, and actually I think try and get back in one, because if it's suspended in like a liquid sack, then I think maybe Strawberry thinks that might be the only way they can survive such a big fall.
Well,
Man, the
just
physics
as you
student in me knows
do,
that.
you hear, because you're a priest, aren't you? Priest of Timora.
Yeah.
So she never speaks to you, but you have this inkling that there is a way to survive it, but it would be on the flick of a coin. And your only chance is going to be in the chair on the bridge.
All right, lady, we always play for keeps, and I'm gonna go ahead and sit my little buns in that chair.
So the chair, as it said, it's got these 2 pink crystals on either side, and you touch them, and you feel this overwhelming force blast into you. And I need you to give me a Constitution save.
Okay. This is fine.
All right.
Oh.
So you are sucked into the crystals, and you are gone as the ship crashes into the mountains. Xalfiz, you are communing with a memory crystal, and you can hear this confused voice, like whatever its kind of memory banks are have been like horrendously damaged, although you do think it does know things. What do you want to ask it?
Can you play your last entry?
Joe's like,
Yeah. What are you kind of looking for? Are you
That's
looking
like
for direction?
crew entry. Like I
Captain's log, stardate 24
exactly.
68 71.
So you
He's a very
hear,
annoying crewmate.
you kind of hear this gibberish, and it's unknown to you. You don't. This language doesn't resonate in any way. It doesn't even feel like a spoken language. It feels like a mental telepathic language, and you just can't. It hurts as it's trying to play back whatever the crew spoke into it. But you suddenly hear this voice, this kind of like low male, sort of high male voice, and it's screaming for help. And it's Strawberry Fields. She's trapped within the network of this crystal, and she is able to speak to you.
Hey! Is somebody there? Hey, let me out. This isn't funny.
Hello, ship. My name is Xalfiz, the practical. Who am I speaking with, please?
My name is not Ship, it's Strawberry Fields. Excuse me.
You're excused. Why would they call a ship Strawberry Fields? And how can you help me? We need to try and fix this problem.
I'm sorry. Okay, no. I'm not a ship. I'm a halfling, and my name is Strawberry Fields, and I woke up and I was in some kind of goo tank, and then, the ship was crashing down, and so my god was like, oh, sit in the chair, maybe you'll survive. I don't know if that happened. I guess I'm technically still here, but it's very weird. I can't feel anything, so if you could get me out of wherever I am, that would be super duper.
Okay. Right. Well, okay, there's a lot to process. Gann.
I'm here. I don't think I'm going anywhere, so,
So you're trapped inside. Your god told you to get there. You're a halfling. Nice to meet you. So out here is pretty much a horror show. The ship has crashed into the planet. There's goo and slug things everywhere.
That sounds right.
Any idea how to fix this?
So Xalfiz, you actually think you know how to do this. So you can absolutely manifest Strawberry into the room, because one of the powers of the memory crystal is to teleport people around there, and you can just do it. You know how it works.
Hold on. You are, so you're not a program, or you're an actual being, right?
Last time I checked, yes. But weird question, but okay.
I mean, it's not every day you talk to a crystal being, but okay, look, let me try a thing. In theory, I know how to work this. It's a long time since college, but let's see if I can remember how to do this. And I'm going to try and Arcana her out?
Yeah, you could absolutely cast Arcana to get her out.
And this is a magical item, so I get advantage, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Is it all this happening like out loud, or is it in his head?
Oh,
No,
sorry.
he's like eyes rolled back.
Okay.
So first one was 17. Second one was 18.
Nice.
So that's absolutely good enough. And Strawberry materializes next to you. Now, Strawberry, you have been stuck in this ship for 10 days, and you've navigated your way around it. You've managed to communicate with it, and you know what it was up to. It had been traveling from the plane of limbo, where it had been dealing with the Slads, these horrendous beings of chaos, because the alien creatures that ran the ship wanted to experiment to see how Slad tadpoles interfere with different alien races. So it was traveling the planes, capturing people, and implanting them with chaos to see, what happens, I guess. But there is a room in this ship where these experiments take place, and if there was a cure, that is where that would be.
Yeah. So Strawberry will, kind of look down at themselves and be like, oh my god, this is so much better, thank you, and then I'm just gonna explain all of this in a very
Gann is like, what the hell?
And I don't breathe or take breaks. I just string all of this information together because it feels so good to be talking again.
Look, Gann, don't be rude to our guest. This fellow, survived the crash by becoming a crystal person, and I'm now a person.
Yeah, and it's great. It's so nice to meet you. What happened to Graham?
Oh, you know Graham?
He's laid down there. Oh, he's over God's
He's
shoulder.
over my shoulder.
Oh my God, Graham! He does not look well. Perhaps we should
No.
get him to that room. I don't know. I mean, I ate a ton of the black goo and I'm fine, but I don't know if it's because I was in a crystal. So
Okay, hold up.
Chop, chop.
I mean, everything you've said makes sense, but how do you know Graham?
Oh, well, we've
That's
been
outlandish.
I
partners.
don't know if that's important right now. So.
I was about to say, we have like 15 minutes left.
We've been partners.
Tell me your life
forever.
story. Where are you from? How old are you? Where'd you grow up? What'd you do for
Funny
life?
story. So you can
there's-
absolutely do this, Xalfiz. You can teleport everyone there if you wish to.
Okay, look, guys. Miss Sean, you're going to stay here and guard the door. It's real important. None of those little creepy guys get in. If you want to hang out with them, you hang out with them. But you're staying here. The rest of us-
no, absolutely not. No, if everyone's going, I'm going too. I need to, and in fact, I might be able to use maybe a spell or something to make it work better.
Let's definitely not do that
Alright.
because you're not gnome.
I think let's trust Xalfiz on this, Mishan, and let's go.
Because I'm the brains. We trust the brains. You're the priest landlord. If we need a bed turned down or a prayer said, we'll call you. So, look, everybody just grab each other's hands, and I'm going to put my hand in the crystal. And can I try and teleport everyone but Milshan?
So that,
Dan,
so
how
you
many
can,
times you
but
get it wrong?
that will require a roll because he is going to try and grab on to one of you as you go by, and I think he's probably going to try and grab on to Gann because, in fact, I think he's probably just going to jump on you.
He's going to jump on Graham.
He's going to jump on you. So what I need from you is an opposed acrobatics or athletics. So if you just want to throw him off, you can use athletics.
All right, acrobatics or athletics? They're both +1, so it doesn't matter what. You rolled a 10. I can beat a 10.
I haven't rolled
can't I?
anything yet.
That was me. Sorry, I
Oh.
mistaked. That was me.
All right, I rolled a 19 + 1. I rolled a dirty 20.
He rolled.
You rolled a one.
Oh.
I just like
Jumps
steps
and face
back.
plants the crystal.
And
So he completely mistimes this. So he basically crashes into the crystal as you kind of just materialize
God,
away.
Bye.
And you
heard.
are teleported to this experimentation room. There it is not straightforward on how to cure to Graham, but I guess using Strawberry Fields' knowledge and your knowledge as an artificer, you're able to
got good
cobble
medicine
together
too.
some sort of what you believe to be a cure, and you inject it into Graham, who obviously can't stop you. But Kuran, I do need a Constitution roll as this alien infusion
Don't
is
roll a
injected
2
into
or a
you.
1 again. Roll
Oh,
20
dear.
this time.
I'm gonna cast
Yep.
guidance on you, so add a d4 to your roll.
In before he gets 5.
Ooh. So yeah,
Constitution, so probably you have a plus on that at all?
+1. So that's +1 and +5. That's what, 16 against.
And if you
12?
wanted to do the guidance as well, you can add plus.
Oh.
What was that?
I got +4 total.
+4 on
14.
+4. Okay, yeah. So 14.
Wow, okay, so Graham opens his eyes, and at first they're completely black, and then that blackness just fades away. And he looks up at you, and he seems to be fine.
Seems.
I knew it. The cure to chaos juice is the most boring juice known to man. Mayonnaise.
I've done
Mayonnaise
it.
is not boring.
I'm a genius.
Oh, mayonnaise is not a juice for the last time. Xalfiz. Oh, God.
It's the juice of eggs.
So, Graham lifts himself up, and then there's this kind of like rumble, like this deep within the ship, and you are aware that by taxing the memory crystals, you have damaged the core absolutely terribly. And you're kind of looking around, and you do notice there are a number of strange tools. These look very, very odd. They're almost like, there's 3 of them, and they almost look like a crossbow, but without the bow on the end. One's very, very long, and 2 of them look like little hand crossbows.
Yoink, is that what we're saying?
Who noticed this? We all did.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really have an opportunity to explore the ship, so you can use the last of the ship's power to teleport yourself back to the nearest exit.
Fellows, grab those tools. I think it'll help our research to figure out what's happened here, and to maybe I don't know if Graham is
Where are we?
fully cured.
Oh no.
Great.
Yeah,
Graham.
I absolutely have. Oh my god. Oh, Strawberry. Yes, you're back.
Graham, wow, we didn't
Yes.
die. Isn't this amazing? It's so cold here.
Brilliant.
Where
How
are we?
did you
I don't know what's happening.
We'll catch up later. Right.
Okay,
We're gonna die.
Yeah, I'll
So-
grab this stuff. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
So in a kind of Michael Bay style exit scene, the explosions everywhere as you're making your way out. There's enormous explosions, all kind of blown off your feet and sent forward. And you stagger out of the crater. And the dog sled is gone.
Oh, that.
And it takes a while to get back to Bryn Shander. And when you do
Well-
arrive back...
Not
Go on,
with our
sorry, what
attack
you
speed.
say?
I transform into a bear, and I got a halfling and a gnome and a human. We get back pretty handy.
Okay. You go, Barry, no problem.
Oh.
Sorry, Joe.
And at first you follow the footsteps of the dog sled, but as the kind of wind blows across and snow falls, and I guess you maybe have a near close encounter with a white dragon that definitely is going to be appearing in a very upcoming episode.
So you should follow.
You arrive back at the temple and you discover that Mishan has been in the temple's medical wing for the entire time you were away, because he was so badly hurt by an unseen assailant about a day before you left. He wasn't found until afterwards. And he sort of tells the story of a shadowy figure, and he describes a very familiar character to Strawberry and Graham. He describes Lee.
That good for
God
nothing Lee.
Damn it.
Never hiring him again.
Absolutely not.
No.
He's going on the
No.
blacklist. Very naughty.
The
Yes.
blacklist.
I have a
yes.
question. Who's Lee?
Yeah.
Right. Lee was a man we did a job with. He tried to double cross us, and now clearly he's pretending to be people. Not nice.
How?
Okay,
Not nice at all.
vengeance pack. Gotcha. Vengeance pack.
Yes.
Classic vengeance.
Yeah, classic.
How,
Yeah, so
how
speaking
can you
of,
be people?
Well, I think that is probably where we leave the story
Yeah.
for today.
All right, fair
so we have a new antagonist. We have a new possible white dragon to be exploring or battling
Stop
with.
it. Stop it.
But next week we will be heading to the Black Cabin to see if we actually can end the terrible winter that has been set the Dale by the Frost Maiden. You may have a chance next week, so please do join us. I believe we do have a few minutes. We will be continuing this chat for maybe about half an hour or so. If you're watching us on twitch.tv/doesitroll, twitch.tv/D&D, please come over to twitch.tv/doesitroll, because we'll be continuing there for like a Q&A, a sort of post-game. But for those of you that maybe don't, let's do a quick just say who we are and what we've done. So Celeste, please just take a moment to plug who you are. It's been really great playing with you, and it'd be great for other people to find more of your stuff.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. Strawberry Fields forever. Yes, my name is.
He was amazing.
Strawberry Fields was fantastic.
Yay,
Big
good.
fan.
I'm glad he really brought it today. So my name is Celeste Conowich. I am a freelance designer for Dungeons and Dragons. I also help design Rime of the Frost Maiden here. So if anything is extra horrible, you can blame me. So the best way to keep up with everything I'm doing and streaming is to follow me on Twitter @CConowich. And if you liked my play style, you can check me out on my actual play podcast, Venture Maidens, where I am the dungeon master, and that streams on alternate Wednesdays, and you can find it where other podcasts are free. For everything else, just check out my website, celesteconowich.com. Once again, thank you all so much for having me. This was a delight.
And I'd also really like to plug your recent DMs Guild adventure. Is it Dino? It's just so good.
Dino World, yes. So if you want an Eberron one shot that is definitely not Jurassic Park, head on over to the DM's Guild. A copy of Dino World for sale now for, it's like $4. So if you want a good time, check that out.
I also really want to plug again, because I know we've only got a couple of minutes more on twitch.tv/D&D. I also want to thank Aram. I don't know, Aram, if you can speak. Can you talk to us?
And
Maybe not. No. Well, yes, we can. I just want to say thank you for your amazing production. I don't know if everyone else can hear you, but if they can't, this is Aram Vartian of God's Fall and Demigod's Fall fame, and he's been doing all our production and all the music, all the amazing things you hear today. This is down to him. So thank you so much, Aram. No, I didn't think I could hear you. Again, you needed a huge plug. So
with a 0 instead of the O.
And check out Vartian, at Vartian on Twitter. Amazing. So I'm going to hand over to Owen, who is going to be hosting post-game Does It Roll. I hope everyone in Twitch has enjoyed this game. Obviously, we've sort of been limited by 2 hours. I really would have loved to have drawn this out as a more kind of horror game. I'd had this whole thing of like you going around the ship with these aliens like chasing you around.
Yeah.
I'd really wanted you to get an opportunity to like get into the alien monitors earlier, and then you could see this thing chasing you. And I also wanted the Lee double cross to be a thing. But again, 2 hours is such a tight time.
It's still good. I think he's a character we can bring back. It's going to be.
It worked pretty good.
It still worked out really well, and it was still creepy for us.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
As we were playing, I took a few notes for questions. Chat, if you have any questions, throw them in chat, and we'll put them in at the end. The first question I have for everyone in the room: what do you make of the words umbilicus?
Yeah, that's a weird one, right?
Is this another Joeism, or is it a real thing? I'm not actually sure.
What I was wondering was, after this umbilicus was like cut in half, was Graham just running around with it hanging off of his stomach?
Oh god.
Yes.
Also,
is absolutely correct.
A shout out to
he's got an outie now.
I just imagined it like slapping off my knees.
Oh god, stop. Stop.
So that whole scene like was pretty crazy. Like there was mad XCOM vibes. There was a weird playing with flashbacks. So when did you come up with the idea for flashbacks, Joe? I guess to start off. I assume it's something like that.
So we really struggled with our contact with Celeste. We weren't sure whether we were going to have you this week or next week. And so originally I was going to run the Black Cabin. So I had that all prepared on Monday. And then we got in contact and we had you this weekend. And I was like, well, I don't want to run the Black Cabin because there's a big twist in it. And I know that she's going to know what it is. So I was like, I have to pull something out. And actually me and Kuran were chatting. And Lee was entirely Kuran's idea. I had an idea. I always love flashbacks. Like I'd always planned to do a bit in the past, a bit in the future. That was always a thing. But Lee was actually, because I mean, this is really based off your backstory, isn't it, Kuran? Like this has come a lot from you.
With the whole heist has gone awry, and then you said you don't know how, but I've ended up in. Yeah. And then you would write that rest of it later. So we've done that now, haven't we? But now I feel like I'm going to be like I'm always going to be referring to Strawberry for the rest of the season. Because it's my buddy.
Well, and as we've said to all our previous guests, we'd love to have you back on. So if maybe in season 1, and definitely if we get renewed for a season 2, it'd be fantastic to have a returning character.
Heck yes, Strawberry is here to help.
we got buddies everywhere now. Like
yeah.
I'll be like, in life you have your strawberries and you have your Lees. What you really want is a strawberry.
You're already probably
strawberries save your life. Lee, try and kill you.
You're probably already beaten half to guess because you survived. I don't know how many people will survive our whole scenarios.
It's a tough campaign to survive in. So
yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
If there's anyone out there called Lee, by the way, that's watching right now, we're sorry.
I'm not sorry. I said Kuran. What's his name? And Kuran was like, he's called Lee.
That's just a name. We've stuck with it.
Yeah, Kuran goes with the most generic, average, like white guy human names.
Fantasy
like Graham and Lee. Yeah,
straight from the Forgotten Realms. Is it a Mirabarian name?
I mean, I have a lizard pet in the two-headed serpent called Greg. I once met a giant snake in that, which I tried to tame and called her Susan. There's no.
Yeah, he doesn't do fancy names. So one last quick question for you before we go to some of the fan questions. Obviously, Celeste, you mentioned that you freelance for Wizards of the Coast. What's it like having done that and seeing so many streams play around with your ideas.
It is
Mess up your ideas. Yeah.
So
so incredible to see something that you've helped bring to life being played and reimagined and like just inspire people to make their own stories and build off of, because really the goal of a designer for anything is just to make more of a technical manual, just give people the basics, the roadmap, and then it's the creativity that the DMs bring to it is, and when that synergizes really well, that's how you've done a great job as a designer. So this is so wonderful to see people just like in all of the stories that are already starting to unfold. It's just an absolute joy to watch.
You ever like have someone make a change and you're like, damn it, why didn't I think of that?
Only a couple times.
It's definitely for me, of all, like, we've been doing D&D 3 or 4 years now, probably, like, of all the stuff they've released in 3 or 4 years, it's definitely probably for me the one I've felt was like the most complete and rounded scenario. And like some of the streams you've dropped into, people are doing really fun stuff with it. There's so many ways you can go with it. So
also, my favorite artwork, like going through it, the book is absolutely beautiful. It's so good.
Here is from it, and
it's incredible. The art direction on this was just out of mind blowing, and actually seeing people make paintings and stuff of scenes you wrote, I cannot quite express how special that is.
This is a creature from the book. It's a snowy owlbear, and it just is amazing. Look at it.
If anyone ever watched Legend of Korra, she's got like a polar bear dog.
Yeah, she's got the Naga, the polar dog. Yeah. That's basically that. Yeah, it's like D&D Naga.
With an owl face.
Yeah.
So, Joe, we have a question for you from Dasquire in the chat. How are we doing leveling? Is there a set pace, or what way are you working it?
So you are given so the Rime of the Frostmaiden actually gives you advice on leveling. So off the top of my head, I couldn't do it. I don't know if you know, Celeste, off your top of your head how it works.
Yeah, so for the entry level quests, so each of the 10 towns has their own starting quest, and it's recommended that you do those quests until you get to about level 3, and then on, they have all of these awesome locations in the book all around Icewind Dale. So places like Id Ascendant was one of these locations, and then it recommends once again that you hit 3 of these and you do a few levels, and then all of the chapters following that, I believe, are each a level as you get towards the final page of the book. So it's grouped to encourage exploration, and really, going to these different spaces is what gives you those milestone cap levels.
And I know, like, I was reading something on Reddit. So there is actually a nice Rime of the Frostmaiden Reddit subreddit, and someone has calculated that if you do every single milestone, so if you tick off everything, because there's things like in the, I don't do spoilers, but there's certain things like if you kill this thing, or if you do this thing, you gain a level.
If we kill the white
and the
dragon.
idea is like maybe you do one of them, or if you do every single one of the Icewind Dale quest and every single one of the outside Icewind Dale quests and things like that, you actually will end up at level 20 right at the end. But I think most people only do bits of it, so you'll probably end up at between 12.
So you heard it here, stream. We're going to be level 20 by our
level
final.
20.
Yeah, episode 10. We're going to be level 7
level
for the
20.
next episode.
So we,
how are you
as
doing
players,
leveling, Joe, is what we're asking. Not the book.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to be doing leveling slightly differently. So because we want to do it as a bit of a horror vibe, it's really difficult in 2 hours, but we will always be leaning very, and particularly next week when we do the Black Cabin, is going to be really leaning into the horror. I think horror is harder to sustain when everyone has, 100 hit points and numerous get out clauses. So I wanted to keep people very low level, but I actually faced a complete rebellion if I let them stay. Because originally I was going to have you at level 1 for a bit and then level 2 for it, and you were like, no, it's not fun.
The thing is, the reason we pushed for level 3 specifically was because level 3 is where an artificer and a rogue really comes into their archetype.
Yeah, I become an artificer. Other than that, I'm a guy with a screwdriver. I'm just a handyman before.
It's not a screwdriver; it's a pole, isn't it? It's like,
it's a multi-tool. I'm a
multi-tool.
You listen to nothing. He's an arcane focused multi-tool. My other one's imbuing a magic item. God damn it, Joe! It's like you don't even care about me.
So the way I'm going to be doing it is from now on, we will do 2 weeks at every level. And for our finale, so session 9 and session 10 will be one story over 4 hours rather than, 2 hours for each story. And you should be roughly level 5 for that finale. And we'll be doing...
finally
I think
level 5.
We're doing either chapter 3 or chapter 4. I've got myself mixed up with which one it is. But there's like a big chapter. I think it's chapter 3. and we'll be doing Sunblight. I think it's
I
called.
haven't read the
To
book. I'm sure
chapter
it'll be on the
3
11th for
in
that
the
event.
book.
Yeah, everyone has D&D Beyond.
I mean, when we started tonight's adventure, Celeste, you were like, "Oh, with the Black Cabin, that's kind of a higher level. You guys might be in trouble." And Joe's like, "We'll do that next week at level 3."
Yeah, you'll be like, so level 3 Black Cabin, absolutely.
So
It could be fine. It could be fine.
Could be.
It's fine. It's fine.
I think
we've read
Kuran
Rectavine before. It's fine.
took over the bad rolls this week. Actually, no.
Was it I took
bad
over the
rolls.
bad bloody
Yeah.
hell.
Kuran
Yeah, a
rolled,
lot of
he rolled, like-
ones.
yeah, there was a lot of
I
ones.
was a
this week.
fan. I think it worked out.
Yeah, I think I was happy enough mine playing a failed one. So
did
Lyrinthia
fantastic.
Lassa, who I think invented the term sphincter door. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
Miscrediting.
so he's a buddy of mine. So he was in my uni game. So he's called Sam. So he went to
really?
uni with me. So my
Oh, hey,
3-year
Sam, I know
long
Sam.
uni game.
Giving
was,
out PII there.
yeah, so he's a really good friend, and it's that we did a uni game that started at level 1 and ended at level 20 something.
Wow. You'd spoken.
And he ended
before
up
that
as
was
like a
on,
scion of Corlon Larathian, who was it was incredible. We got to the end, it was crazy, and
I know-
3.5 as well. So really with the epic levels.
I didn't
And so,
realize
yeah,
that was Sam.
thank
So
you for watching, Sam.
he had the question: who in the group realized the significance of it being a spelljammer ship? And yeah, it's just the two DMs. One who
Just
works
you.
for the coast.
I had no idea. I don't know what
Myself,
that. Yeah.
myself and Kuran definitely knows zero lore. Like other than what I've played in D&D, which is
I know
Curse of
some, but I
Strahd.
didn't get that.
I knew it was something that everyone wants to come back, and Spelljammer's cool, and everyone loves Spelljammer. But like,
I don't actually know if it is in the book. I think it is. I don't
They
think
don't
there's a
ever
Helm
say
mentioned.
the words. Because
and Aram got it because he's a nerd too.
yeah, but because people, it was a very beloved setting. It's D&D in space, except things aren't sci-fi. Everything is propelled by magic. So the fact that we have this giant ship that's
Science doesn't
crashed-
exist. It's magic.
It's magic.
I'm pretty
You
sure
know
this was
what?
run by horror. It's not the same
Everything,
thing.
Yeah.
everything in our world right now could be magic if we didn't like put scientific terms to them. So
There you go.
Computers
Depending who you
powered by-
talk to. Depending who you talk to.
It's
So it
it's
just-
such a cool
yeah.
idea. I don't know if you were part of the secrets, but I mean, we've done our own thing with it. But I just love the fact that the comet, like that's from the book. That's not me messing. Everyone's like, "Oh, you made this cool thing." I'm like, "No, I didn't. It's just from the
No,
book."
yeah.
There's, like I've done my own thing with the Descendant, and but partly because we only have 2 hours, and partly because you really should be like level 5 or 6 to do the one that's in the book. And partly because it's got some really cool things that I know that loads of people haven't run it yet, and there's certain things that I don't want to spoil, and I think that's one of my favorite stories in the book, and I don't want to spoil that, so I was always going to do my own thing with it. But yeah, it's just so cool. Like, there's just so many little touches like that which should just make it one of the most original campaigns I've ever played.
So, question I have for you, Joe, 'cause we didn't discuss it beforehand. Is it just a one giveaway this week? Or 2?
No. So we have the amazing people over at WizKids have we have a WizKids box, which is the set of 4 figures from the Icewind Dale setting. There's just so many cool stuff in there.
So we're going to be giving away a mini booster pack, right?
Mini booster
From
pack
WizKids.
with 4 figures from WizKids, and we're also giving away a copy of D&D of Rime the Frostmaiden on D&D Beyond as well. So we've got a code to give away as well.
So what I'm going to do now, because people have been typing, have been very patient for the 2 hours to get to the giveaway. We have 9 eligible people, I think. If you're in chat and you haven't entered the giveaway, type I love DIR with no spaces.
all one
You-
word.
All one word. Yeah, you can be entered into the competition. First one we're going to draw, and you'll see the name be announced in chat when I hit the button, will be for the mini. And the second one will be for the code in DIR.
People should
And
be able to
I
hear
can-
me now. So
I can
real
remove
quick
Kurd
question.
from eligibility, so he's out.
What?
Real fast a question because they should be able to hear me.
Yeah.
Now, Celeste, I just want to know, what is it like to write an adventure in a world that you've played in and loved for so long?
question.
It was absolutely incredible. I mean, when I, first got the email saying, "Hey, would you be interested?" I freaked out. Of course, I would be interested. I mean, I've been playing D&D for about 15 years. So this opportunity was just absolutely incredible. And then, I mean, I obsessed over like all of the Icewind Dale lore. You know, I re-listened to all the Drizzt novels, everything Salvatore had put out there. So it was incredible, but also very stressful because, you know, you want to make, you know, to do this setting right, to really get the lore right for all those people who have loved it for so long, just like me, and also make it approachable for new people who've never heard anything. So, you know, is walking that tightrope of how do I represent this the best. And I was so glad we had this amazing writing team all around us, because I mean, I got so close to the other writers on this project. And then we all really helped support each other through the high anxiety of making something that so many people were going to play. So I can't thank the rest of the writing team enough for the support that got me through writing this incredible thing.
Awesome. Well, I think you nailed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's so good.
A follow-up question to that then. How, just out of curiosity, how
You got
early in
into
that process were you brought on board? Like, how long have you
All right.
been a part of this whole project?
So I guess I heard about, I mean, I did the writing about a year ago at this point. So it's been a long time that I had to sit and wait to be able to announce that I worked on this. So well over a year that I had to wait and like just be so excited whenever people speculated about the new book or anything. I had to sit there quietly and go, I wonder what it could be.
That would be so difficult.
It was very hard.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's hard enough not giving away followers, or not followers, but the special guests each week on this. I can't imagine going a year and a half of over a year.
I want to tell everyone.
Yeah,
it's because I work with someone who's just getting into D&D, and I was lucky enough to get a very, very early copy of so I've been sitting on it for a few months, and it's I wanted to talk about it, but you know, we sign
Right?
NDAs, and it's very so it's like, yeah, I have no idea what it could be. No, it's I'm sure it'll be really good.
Definitely no white dragons in it.
Yeah,
No, definitely no. I don't know why that was mentioned twice in this episode. It's almost like that. I'm sure I wouldn't put a white dragon, so you know, level 3 or 4 characters.
It's for the last adventure. Joe's going to do TPK.
That's
That's the end of Icewind Dale.
I mean, it's not like there's more than one dragon in this book.
Oh,
It's not like
I've
there's
been
sort
so
of
scared by
maybe
Skyrim. I just thought there's going to be a bullshit random encounter where it kills us at level 2 when it shouldn't. It's just, we walked in the wrong area and we're all dead now. I guess we'll quickly do the giveaway just because people are waiting on that.
Yeah, let's do the giveaway. Let's do the giveaway.
So we're going to roll. First one up is for the mini booster pack from WizKids. So 3, 2, now do your drum roll. You're very good at this. And I'm going to hold for this. No, 3, 2, 1. The winner
really
is Rudolph Muvo.
Oh, literally just followed us about 5 minutes ago.
Amazing.
Yes. If you message the Does It Roll Twitch just there, you can see a message. If you click on our channel, you'll be able to message us. We can get the details off you to send it to you, or hit us up on Twitter. But probably Twitch is the best way to do it.
And as I'm going to be posting it, I really hope you don't live in Japan. The last one was really expensive to post. No, but it's such a good pack. They're so good. I'm really happy for you. The figures are amazing.
Yeah, and like WizKids, big shout out to WizKids for sponsoring us.
Massive shout out to WizKids.
Our podcast has been going a while, but we're a new stream.
They're painted, yeah. They're pre-painted.
Okay.
I've got a whole load of them. I don't have them to hand, but next week I'll show them off so you can see them.
So next up is shout out to D&D Beyond crew, because they've given us a code for the whole campaign module. What do you call this?
Lauren's in chat, so thank you so much, Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren did a lot of work helping us out. Shout out to Lauren, who apparently is a mod now. Aram, I guess, made her a mod. Congrats on her newest mod to the channel.
Thank you, Lauren.
So
Lauren is the best. She's going to be on the show soon.
If you cross us, she will also ban you, apparently. So look, the winner of the code for D&D Beyond is Dasquire.
That's
Yay!
right.
Dasquire, amazing.
Same thing, Dasquire. If you can send us your email in a message, it's just a code we send you. You go into D&D Beyond, and you can reclaim it through their code reclaim program system.
Yep, and if there's any other issues, you can message me directly at howwerollpodcast@gmail.com. So if you are having any issues with this, please do message me directly and I'll get it sorted. So that's howwerollpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you for slowing that down, because for non-English speakers, you went very fast. All right. Have we any last points we want to talk about, or any last topics before I throw it to each of you to shill your stuff? again?
Well, very, very quickly. So the first 2 episodes of Ram and the Frost Maiden that were recorded as part of the D&D celebration are now available on doesitroll.com.
Unless be shilling before the end of that first episode.
This is a bit of because all other episodes are going to be done through How We Roll. So the last week stuff is already on our Patreon, and we will be releasing it as a podcast on How We Roll, and it will be a show as Does It Roll, and hopefully very soon we'll have it as a YouTube channel as well. So all the VODs will be up there for your enjoyment. So I know that's kind of shilling, but I wanted to get out there early.
That's fine.
We may be redoing the last role of the D&D Beyond thing because it looks like the Esquire doesn't want his code.
Are you sure?
Oh, he said, did I enter?
Apparently you did.
Yeah. We're absolutely happy to send it to everybody.
Okay, I can re-roll it if you don't want to. I definitely clicked your name, Esquire, because I saw you in chat and may have entered you for you about because sometimes it doesn't fully register people.
Well, let's re-roll.
Okay, so there's another opportunity to win. Hopefully people
all right. So 1, 2, 3. Huckleberry Finn, who was in earlier.
That's a great name.
Extremely good.
He's a football manager streamer, a buddy of mine who's actually starting D&D and started looking at our show.
Amazing.
So, there you go. You got your starter campaign now.
He's looking at what campaign to play, so now I guess that settles his choice.
There you go.
There you go. The
amazing
best one. I'm not biased.
Joe Rudolph is asking who he messages about the miniature.
So the easiest thing to do is send me an email and I'll type it in. Oh, I can't type it because someone type it in the chat because I'm not logged in.
I'll message Rudolph here.
How we roll podcast @gmail.com.
Rudolph, I've messaged you from the Does It Roll account. You can send your address there and I'll get it to Joe.
Yeah.
Nice and easy. So, on that note, that was very smooth, the giveaway. I'm going to throw it to each of you guys to sell yourselves. We'll throw it first to our amazing guest, Strawberry Fields. He/she fits in very well with the group and our madness. Celeste, over to you.
Yes. Sorry, what am I saying?
Whatever you want.
Where people can... Oh, wait,
you
where should go?
Sell yourself.
Vamp my work again, where people can find me?
Yeah. One last chance to shill yourself. That's basically it.
Got it. Once again, Celeste Conowich. I helped write this book that we're playing right here. I have been a completely 100% living on freelance design jobs for the past year. You can find me, writing D&D in a lot of places. I've written for companies like Kobold Press, Wizards of the Coast, Jetpack 7, 2C Gaming. So really just keep your eyes out. I'm always posting about, what I'm working, what I can talk about, that I'm working on my Twitter @cconowich. And if you want to see the complete catalog of my work, you can always check out my website, celesteconowich.com. I'm also a pretty avid streamer, podcaster. I run an actual play D&D podcast called Venture Maidens, which features an all-femme cast. So if you want to check that out, everywhere podcasts are free, you can find Venture Maidens. And we live stream our episode recordings alternate Wednesdays on the Venture Maidens Twitch channel.
Am I right in saying as well that you are a DM for hire on your Ko-Fi account as well?
Yeah, so on Ko-Fi, you can also head to Ko-Fi/cconowich. You can hire me to do consultations. So these are creative consultations where I can meet with you for 45 minutes to talk to you about how to become a designer, how to make a podcast, all kinds of stuff. Or you can hire me to run games for your home group. So you can check out my stuff on Ko-Fi.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. Kuran, time for you to shill yourself out and tell people how amazing you are.
Right. Well,
Look at him. He's fantastic.
I'm
freshly moved.
Yeah, I'm not really streaming at the moment because I'm on Wi-Fi, so I can't do that. But right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at KURAN_J, or you can find me on the How We Roll Discord and the Does It Roll Discord. And I'm going to link my film club Discord in here because on Wednesdays we watch a film. The topic that, like, we basically put up a topic and a poll comes up and then people vote for it, and it's Jim Carrey movies. So if anyone's interested,
what movie
they can.
do?
Oh wait! Oh, it says that I'm going to be timed out of chat. Thanks, Nightbot.
I'll link it for you, buddy. I'll link it for you.
I'm trying to link my film club.
The other message was deleted by a moderator.
That's Nightbot, yeah.
Yeah, Nightbot is the moderator.
Oh, right. It just timed you entirely. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get an invite.
Nightbot's got it out for me, I'm telling you. Anyway, my point would be that, yeah, you come by, we watch movies, we write little reviews about them and stuff. It's just fun. Yeah, all are welcome.
Ooh.
There you go. Niall, what about you? You don't really do much in other than this, do you?
I
Sell
really
yourself, though.
don't. Yeah, I'm gonna sell myself right now. It's my birthday today. Thank you, Owen and Joe
Happy
Kern, for
birthday,
saying
Niall.
happy
I meant
birthday.
to mention that at the beginning of the stream. I had a whole note
welcome,
written
man.
down to do.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean-
anyway, other than that, I'm getting old, so I'm gonna go to bed. Good night. No,
Do you know what would make Niall smile? Following the channel if you're not following already. There you go. That's
Exactly,
the
yeah.
best present any boy could have.
give us a follow. And yeah, if you ever want to get in contact, I'm active enough on the How We Roll Discord, and I'm going to be more active on the Does It Roll Discord. So follow that, and yeah, pop in.
And we're gonna bully him into playing on mine and Karen's stream. Some spooky movies for Halloween.
Yes,
Spooky
what?
movies, spooky games, even games, spooky games.
Spooky games? What spooky games?
Spooky
Oh,
games.
Among Us, I guess, is kind of spooky. Is it? No. It's more,
No,
more
I want to
Hitler
play that
films.
though. I really want to play that.
All right, Joe. I was gonna say last but not least, but no, the second last, I guess.
Yeah, you got to. Well, and we've got Aram as well. So yeah, so I am the regular. I guess I'm not. So I GM here on every week on Does It Roll. So please come check us out. This will be released as a podcast at howwerollpodcast.com. We do D&D. We've got a Curse of Strahd finale coming up very soon. We also do a lot of Call of Cthulhu. We do one shots, and we also have a long-term, long-running Call of Cthulhu game, or Pulp Cthulhu game, which is GM'd by Scott Dorward, who is the writer of the Two-Headed Serpent campaign. And the next episode of that will be coming out very shortly. We are hoping also to release that or stream that live to our Patreons, just so they can get that weekly Two-Headed Serpent love. Please check me out at HWR Podcast on Twitter. That's where I tweet from. And please join our Discord.
How did I find Discord, lads? Any of you pinned it to any of your Twitters yet, or is it still going to my
I
Twitter?
believe it's
Oh, no,
pinned
it's
to Owen's Discord, actually.
Definitely
Twitter.
not pinned to my Discord or my Twitter.
Twitter. All right. Then our own personal Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain, who was described as a DJ today with all the amazing sound effects. Aram.
Hello.
Show
Yeah,
yourself.
you can find me at Vardian, VRTIN. Just posted the link there. You can find my show God's Fall at godsfall.com. And I'm also going to be launching a new iHunt show called Cash for Teeth. And all of those shows will be on the network
So
channel,
excited by that.
dositroll.com.
Where am I? It's like way up there. There it is.
Yeah,
Does
there
it
you
roll.com.
So, and finally, myself, I said it to him last week. Niall and Kern still aren't plugging the channel that we're fecking on. So I stream on Twitch, guys, myself as How We Roll
I'm not
Own.
going to stream your. I'm not going to plug your Twitch anyway.
No, How We Roll Own. Play a variety of games there. Mostly just chat about whatever comes up. People give me advice and abuse for how I played my RPG games generally. I'm also obviously on Does It Roll. Myself and Aram run the Twitch. So if you go to twitch.tv/Does It Roll, we will pin the Discord for Does It Roll on there. If you want to join the How We Roll Discord, it's on the top of my Twitter, which is the same as my Twitch, which is How We Roll Own, which is the least brandable name ever. But look, we're stuck with it now. Own is that mental bit down the bottom, EOGHAN. Basically, look, if you want to get in contact with me, I'm all over the internet. That's what we do. I think that's our show for this week.
I think
Amazing,
so.
yeah.
Thank you, everyone,
So,
for tuning
yeah.
in.
Thank you
Yeah.
so
Thank
much.
you,
I hope
Celeste,
you
again
enjoyed it.
for putting us through our
Celeste,
paces.
thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. This
Strawberry
was so much
Fields.
fun.
It's fantastic, and you've been a fantastic guest. Thank you
Thank
for
you very
writing the
much, folks.
stories for us.
Amazing. Thank you.
We're out.
Yeah.
You're
Oh
done.
man.
Oh man, that was really bad for me.